100%ing another crab's treasure was a Souls-like experience I didn't know I needed. Now, even though this game is hard as balls and had me fight 19 different bosses, and sometimes fighting these bosses a little underleveled, we did not only just need to beat the game, we also had to find all 69 shells, collect 15 stainless relics, and learn all the powers from the 8 adaptations. And with New Game Plus also being part of the 100%, there is a lot to unpack, so please sit back, relax, and enjoy.
What word comes to mind when you think of the Earth? For some, that word might be beautiful. Others might say the world is hateful, or evil, or unstable, or full of shit. But above all else, the word that best describes our world is resilient. Against the odds, time and time again, creatures adapt to make the most of their given environment. Some learn to feed on others, stealing their vitality for their own. Some become scavengers, living off what strangers leave behind. And others still, as we will soon see, would prefer to be simply left alone.
Sir, please open up.
Oh, you're not a bird.
Sir, are you the owner of this residence?
You mean my shell? Yeah, it's mine. Do you like it?
I represent the Royal Duchy of Slacktide, which has recently annexed the territory surrounding and including this tide pool. I'm here to inform you that you have outstanding taxes that date back at upwards of 10 tides. If you are presently unable to pay this balance, the duchy will claim you home until you...
Hold on. I've got some questions. First of all, what's a duchy? Also, taxes?
Okay, so basically, the Duchess of Slacktide owns this whole area now. And she puts a lot of effort into keeping it safe. So, everyone who benefits from that has to abide by her rules and pay up once per tide.
There's still plenty of birds here. I don't know if it's really safe.
Look, kid, I don't have time to argue political nuances here. I've got a lot of tax evaders to get to. You gotta pay up right now, or I'm gonna have to repo your property. Got it?
Okay. I think I've got a hard kelp or two around here somewhere.
Well, I sure do hope so, Kril. Property prices are expensive these days. Right at the bat, we stumbled across our stash of hard kelps. Everyone loves these little delicious hard kelps. So they're often used for trading. Eating just one of these makes you feel restored. So yeah, I hope so too, Kril. I hope so too. We hand it over to the loan shark, and I don't think he's impressed. He knows what it is, but hopes Kril's just joking around. As no one uses these dumb things as money anymore, the ocean seems to have lowered their standards to trash. Well, at least that doesn't sound much better than softly edible hardkelp pots. Kril wasn't exactly thrilled about that idea either. Meanwhile, the loan shark thinks it's a phenomenal change in the economy, so he wants bread clips, sauce packets, or honestly anything you could call trash. Kril begs for a couple more tides, and that's where the loan shark drew the line. Oh crab indeed! We are shellless, and unlike our previous shell that granted us 50 armor, 1 seagull and we are dinner. So we chase after that loan shark. Kril tells him this is unacceptable, cause he'll be screwed if even one bird catches him like this. Sadly, the shark couldn't care less, and if we want our shell back, we'd better get a job or something. Yeah, I bet they are. Kril is more of an introvert and isn't too excited to hop into the reef. But do not forget that that isn't the loan shark's problem. Where honestly, he is kinda right. We need to gather the trash, otherwise no more shell. With that said, he dips. Kril was worried, really worried, so I guess we must say goodbye to land and make our way over to the reef. We learn how to use our jumps as we can do these little Yoshi type fluttering with our cute little crab claws. Climbing up the rocks here, we gained some height, allowing us to cover more ground while traversing the rest of the sea. On the other sides, we came across a bread claw, a small chunk of plastic in the shape of a crab's claw. Maybe it has some value. We can trade it in for 250 microplastics, so value it certainly has. We continue onwards and run into another crab. Kril asks if he may have seen a really tall shark pass by carrying a super awesome dope looking shell. The moaning crab tries to say something. Kril thinks it's work, and well, that is exactly what he's not trying to say. So you meant worthless. What do you mean by that, pal? And as Kril points it out, there's definitely something odd about this fella's eyes. Oh my god! That crab approaching us like that genuinely scared me. No, Kril. I'm afraid you haven't lost them. Although in front of us... He even got himself a little bandana on. Oh, you are ready for anything, little crab friend. We have found the rusty fork and can now swing these bottles out here to fight the first sleepless crab. Because I think they are getting even less sleep than me. We annihilated him, but took a handful of damage from his charge attack. We obtained something about him in the museum and picked up 25 of what I'm guessing are microplastics. During the next fight I learned that I could dodge the crab's charge attack, which is definitely a necessity in these encounters. After taking down one more crab, I make my way up here, head behind these bottles and break a purple crystal that rewards us with 3 purple crystal-like shards. What do these do? No clue, but my guess is that they're more of a premium currency compared to the microplastics. And yes, Kril, good question. Let's check it out. As the current gets warmer, the closer we get to the platform, it turns out to be a moon snail shell. Touching these glowing currents restores a long forgotten moon snail shell, which we can rest in to restore our health. If we're slain, we will be revived at the last one we stayed at. So we gotta make sure we activate every single one. So we enter it and see our HP is restored, but we can also level up our little crab. Although not yet. We can view our shell collection. Yes, we will need to collect every single one of these shells, and we can confirm this location is named the Shallows Cave of Respite. Exiting out, hey, it's that damn shark. He finds us awfully persistent. Well, what do you expect? You nabbed our property. He keeps insisting that the property belongs to the Duchess now. Which may be true, but still, why not let us build our debt a little longer? Although, he does make a fair point. He's done his job, and if we want to change the rest, we ought to talk with the Duchess. The lone shark wants us to quit bothering him and laughs right in our faces. Well, mate, that is a bit uncalled for. Breaking these bottles, we enter the Shallows. Damn, yes! Give me that underwater jingle! We talk with a snail who is surprised to see a crab leaving the tide pool. We ask him if he knows anything about the Duchess. And he sure does, and isn't too happy about her either, as they take all his hard-earned microplastics every tide just to exist. Guess the sea life came to experience our lives, huh? But his biggest issue is that she keeps building her castle and hiring more soldiers. She ain't changing a good thing with all those microplastics. Kril is thrilled though, cause he now knows that she has a known place to stay. He wants to take back his property. The snail mocks us. Ha ha ha, very funny buddy. You do know we just hopped into the underwater world, right? The snail isn't too fond of Kril's plan. Of, trying to reverse his taxes, claiming us hermit crabs are all the same, wearing shells while the rest of the snails need to work hard to create their own mantles. He's really pissed at us. Well, take a chill pill. We didn't do anything to you, pal. Plus, we need to look out for ourselves, So suck it. Okay, well, I didn't want to kill him, but he started it. Continuing along the path with the cigarettes littered throughout the ocean, on top of this slipper I found another red claw. And then this fish attacked us. Not an easy battle, but definitely doable, granting us a barbed hook. A weapon designed to reel in prey at a long distance. In combination with a sturdy piece of string, even massive targets might be drawn in if struck at a weak point. With R, I use one of our heart kelp pots to restore our health. Now theoretically, you can dodge all enemies in the game. However, they do not give up on chasing you. And these fish are twice your speed, once again getting me into a bit of a rough situation. After finding another barbed hook on one of the bastards, I had to use a second heart kelp already. But I also found another batch of 3 purple crystals, so I think that makes up for it. Snatching a new heart kelp pot from this seaweed heart kelp thingy-majig, there is a dude on this sandcastle, a little crab dude that we gotta save from all the enemy crabs. The sleepless crabs. One of them dropped yet another kelp pot, and I also learned I can do a spin attack by jumping and slashing, although the damage output is pretty bad. The helpless crab Vern is impressed by our swordsmanship. Them ruffians have become bolder and bolder as of late, and Kril wonders why he just won't move away from the danger. Haha, so anything for the land that the Duchess offered you. A land that consists of something that already existed. Sure, buddy. Whatever you want to believe. Kril instantly acknowledges the exact same thought I had. However, Vern has lost the plot. Vern rewards us for our troubles with a Bloodstar limb, a severed limb of a Bloodstar. Easily regenerated by the host's creature. We must collect 4 more to increase our vitality. We continue onwards, and after heading straight for a while, making a slight right to a spot I think that a crab has gotten a little too much sleep or started snorting some G Fuel to stay awake. I'll approach you some other time. Got no balls risking that right now with my rusty little fork. We find this vending machine, which sounds, and with the glowing button appearing, it sounds to be running. So let's hit that button. Oh, awesome! We got some soda cans we can wear as a shell. This allows Kril to at least go and see the Duchess. It caves like heck compared to his original one, however, little crab friend, they were never really meant to be used as a shell. But hey, if it works, right? The shell reduces damage taken whenever we hide inside of it. Although there is a durability meter on that baby, so we gotta watch out for it.
Close off, lawbreaker!
Oh, crab. I'm sorry. Was I supposed to grab a ticket?
You think yourself above the law, but the law is not so easily outwitted. By its strength alone do we rise above the beasts.
I'm really sorry. I'll go to the back of the line, okay?
Ha! You should be so lucky. I'll have your head like I have these other worthless law breakers. Your fish food! Through my blade is justice sucked, and in turn, your filthy soul is destined for the drain!
Having us slain means we drop all our microplastics, and any shell we were wearing gets left at the spot we died. We need to be careful when going back to pick it up, because if we die again before reclaiming it, all of it is lost forever. This time though, since it was a boss fight, I could simply reclaim everything and reinitiate the battle. This dude is absolutely no joke. There's practically no downtime between the swings. Once he starts, he'll gladly keep going. Standing behind him costs us a horde feet backstab, and seriously, anything you might think of as a clever move, He immediately improvised on it and proves your tactics wrong. First boss fight and is already curb stomping my ass. My main strategy was utilizing our shell, as we can deflect all damage onto that baby. And well, there are like 6 hanging around thanks to that vending machine, so we can kinda cheese this encounter. But only this one, because future bosses most likely won't have 8 shells lying around. Using that approach, I managed to reach a phase where he was about to pull off an aggro attack, aka an unblockable move signaled by the aggro symbol appearing above Kril. When we see it, we must run, dodge or jump out of the way and nothing else will work. So when I did the exact opposite of that, yeah, never letting that happen again if I keep my wits about me. Not even a minute later and I got dragged across the scent again, as you've got about a 1 to 2 second window to avoid that stupid move. Once more, Kril was defeated. This is going to be one long ass game, I can already feel it. So yeah, death definitely came knocking several more times. But that shell strategy I came up with was working. It took me about another 10 minutes, and by that point I understood his patterns. I understood them well enough that I didn't even really need to rely on it anymore.
You can't outrun the law forever, kid.
Oh, yes I can. I've been doing that my whole life now. And yes, Kril, that was self-defense. My guy came charging at ya with some of the craziest goddamn combat maneuvers I've seen since the dawn of time. Don't you worry, you had every right to slay that buffoon. He dropped nothing but a hard kelp pot and we moved on to the next heartwarming current, unlocking a new moonsnail shell, the Stalactite Outskirts. And it seems like we leveled up. We got 2 levels that can now put points into health, resistance to reduce damage dealt to our shell, attack to, well, deal more damage, and MSG to enhance the power of umami-based attacks, which is something we know absolutely nothing of, but so far at least. For now we boost our attack by 2. I think taking things down faster is something I'd rather do than being able to tank a little more damage. Oh, and we didn't just level up for free. Leveling up costs microplastic, so there's no experience gain system. So getting those 2 attack levels set us back by 660 microplastics, which is perfectly fine by me. With that, the soda can has been added to the collection. And in the memories menu, we can replay specific encounters, including the boss fight we just did, which, well, yeah, no thank you, not again, please. We continue past the gate Sol Nefra was guarding to stumble upon yet another purple-eyed big boy. I had balls this time. With my damage upgrades and newfound combat knowledge, I was sure this bastard could be taken care of. Having found the banana peel shell, all this fella did was simple claw swings. Well, that wasn't until his yellow bar filled up. Yeah, that charge attack means business. He pulled that stunt a couple more times, but now that I knew it was coming, I was able to finish him off. Close call though. Taking him down grants us another purple crystal. Heading down here, I was picking my nose or something and suffered my first defeat outside of a boss fight. We respawn at our latest shell and luckily can still recover on microplastics, as you don't need to hold anything to grab them back. You can just simply pull off a quick drive-by and reclaim your belongings. This time I dealt with the fish and crabs first. We head to the upper left where more combat awaited us, getting our shell down to low durability. Luckily these bad boys aren't too rare to find around the sea. We continued onwards and had to deal with yet another purple-eyed crab, who had already learned his little charge attack move. Yeah, that was really unexpected. So this is where the game already becomes a stress fest. I now need to make it back to the same location from the she shell, the one we found while doing it in one life, as our belongings are even further up this time. Dare I mention, all enemies have respawned, so I just ran past everything to snatch my stuff back, and after dodging chunky mystic crabs, we found a sea star. The legends say that these can grant any wish. They're wrong though. Although it does say +3 vitality, so pre-upgrade points? Aha! It is a stowaway, one of the 4. These can be found anywhere and are all little friends that we can equip in the status menu to gain benefits. Their bonuses only apply while wearing a shell, so don't take them for granted. You got it. Now, what we should also take note of is that the enemies in these games, well, at least the fast swimming fish, are persistent little pests, showing no mercy and having absolutely no plans of giving up the chase. Holy crap, will they do anything in their power to take you down, no matter how many miles you run. Surviving this time, I check out our stowaways, where I equip the Sea Star, which counts for 2 out of the 3 stowaway slots, so it is a chunky one. Going further to the left, I spot something in the distance, which to my surprise... Yes, another boss fight. Not something I expected this quickly already. I ran away at first, but thought maybe that damage boost would make quick work of him. I got him down to like 10% of his health and died. I'm not sure if this is the best idea to fight just yet. As you can see, when you die to a boss, your junk is always a free recovery, which is honestly awesome. Really love that I don't need to traverse all the way back to the Royal Shell Splitter every time he decides to molest me, which I'm afraid is going to happen plenty more times. Or maybe not, because I was cooking a little too much, getting him to his balance and capsize state. When we hit an enemy enough times to max out their balance meter, it opens them up to being capsized. When their health bar starts flashing, we must hit them with a powerful attack, such as a charge strike, to knock them down for several seconds, of course allowing us to get in some free hits. An absolute must with his ridiculous HP pool. Now while I continued battling this dude, 2 more major questions started popping up. First things first, what the hell happened here? But after all that nonsense, having used all my hard kelp pots and somehow playing average, like not even crazy good or anything, I actually beat the Royal Shell Splitter and obtained his achievement. That is just wow, I am impressed myself. We obtained the paper claw, a chunk of metal in the shape of a crab's claw. A sizable value to say the least, worth 5,000 microplastics, double of what we currently have, so thank you very much. Venturing deeper into the ocean while traversing the map, I found yet another Bloodstar limb, which is great. Not having searched for all too long, I spotted another warm current, revealing our next moon snail shell. This is the Central Shallows, where I was now capable of upgrading things 4 levels higher, so I boosted attack by 2 and resistance by 2. And then I just realized while looking at our banana and their shell collection that we gotta collect a funny number of shells. Now we were off towards the castle, approaching the guards. We were halted by a tryhard guard. Their fort is called Slaktite. We must speak our business or be struck down where we stand. This stresses Kril out, however, the wary guard calms his nerves. Luckily, someone out here still has a sense of humor. It was just her first day on the job. You got it. So we tell him about our little tax problem and wonder if the Duchess can help us get her shell back. The wary guard is surprised, as she is a busy crab and we shouldn't get her hopes up. Our luck has been favored though, he doesn't see why not, so they open the gates for our little Kril friend. And he cannot stop wondering why it is so dangerous out there while the Duchess is quote-unquote trying to keep things safe with this tax idea. So with those warnings heeded, we enter Fork Slaktite and make our way all the way to the back end only to get interrupted by birds. We tell him what we're trying to do and he is surprised. They are standing in line and Kril's cutting it. They all made an appointment. However, the lobster guard has no problem with Kril just cutting the line. That is neat indeed, Kril. Let's talk with this Duchess lady. Can it be that big of a bee?
Speak. Oh, yes, ma'am. I recently had my shell taken away, and I was wondering if there's any way we could work out some sort of a...
Do you like my castle, little hermit?
Your castle? Oh, it's pretty neat, I guess.
You guess? A lot of work went into this place, you know? Work made possible by generous contributions from citizens like yourself. And it was worth it, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Look, I can find another way to pay my taxes, but for now, I'd really just like to...
Even more gorgeous than the coral reefs, wouldn't you say?
I've never been to... I mean, yeah, absolutely. The reefs are super overrated. Everyone says so.
Oh, perhaps we can work out a deal, little hermit. But first, I'll need something from you. My castle still lacks a certain panache, pizzazz, flair. Je ne sais quoi. A platoon went out on my behalf to recover something shiny and gorgeous from the cave to the west. But those buffoons haven't reported in since. Such incompetence. Climb the western tower to begin your journey to the cave. Then catch up with my platoon and help recover something worthy of my beauty. Return to me with trinket in claw, and we can speak of delaying your tax payments for no longer than 2 calendar tides.
Okay, thank you. I won't let you down. I'll get you the shiniest thing I can. Oh yeah, I also wanted to mention the crazy murderous crabs outside trying to...
Begone, little hermit. I tire of you.
Yes, ma'am!
Yes, let's just obey her so we can hopefully extend our tax evasion and maybe even pay it off with microplastics. And why does this stupid ball do damage? First off though, we must head to the left and climb all the way up here. It is a bit of a climb, but thanks to it, we can cover some ground towards the House of Cards. Knock it down and obtain the fishing line, allowing us to now grapple towards the fishing hooks. Oh, this is awesome. With that, it was time to dodge some spike balls from that dude nobody knows and speak with a slack-tide footman, who is, like the name suggests, a footman. He tells us we cannot get by here. However, we are no footman. We are Kril Man. And with our grapple skills, we can simply swing right past him. And then the game flipped me off by rolling one giant spike ball straight towards us. Seriously, what a dick move. Now for goodness sake, at least only one came rolling down. So up here we grabbed the bottle cap shell and lowered this fishing rod for a shortcut if anything bad may happen in the future. Up next, we found the barnacle, another stowaway granting us 10 more defense. Oh, I likey. However, it also takes up 2 slots, and I think I'd rather keep the Sea Star equipped. So we move onwards, make a left, and continue heading the way while dodging the toxic goop. We also learned that the crabs are completely immune to that stuff. We, on the other hand, aren't, but we are irresistible when it comes to finding new shells like the tin can. Making it to the end of this section, we speak with a moon snail. Wait, these things talk? It starts narrating our adventure. In an effort to recover his home, the plucky hermit crab ventures into a mysterious cave. But he quickly discovers that the return journey will be significantly more challenging. Kril starts getting a reality check, but the moon snail continues. He approaches the ghostly figure in front of him. Kril introduces himself and mentions his quest. And then, well, he stated something I disagree with. The moon snail keeps narrating, which pisses off Kril. And long story short, according to the moon snail, Kril must awaken the currents inside of him. He must access the power of umami. What can that possibly be? The moon snail decides to awaken his latent abilities manually. Oh god, what did you do? Kril feels a tingle. We have learned the umami shell spells. While wearing a shell, we can press Ctrl to consume umami chargers and activate its unique shell spell. Umami chargers regenerate slowly whenever we attack enemies with our fork. The tin can performs a shell shock attack, and as we can see, it costs us a charge. Changing shells also doesn't reset them, meaning the charges are tied to Kril himself. Whereas the soda can perform a unique fizzle knockback attack. Oh, this is some cool extra variety added to all 69 different shells. Anyway, we unlocked the Moon Snail's Cave Moon Snail Shell and couldn't level up because it is getting significantly more expensive. Now, as we just got a Moon Snail Shell checkpoint thingy, I became a quick suicidal hermit crab to obtain the You Fell Off achievement for falling off a cliff. So no longer needing suicidal thoughts and still being able to recover some junk, as this game is actually really good in terms of accessibility and stuff, we continue to the right, where we collect another 3 shiny crystals. Now, heading on to the left path, I accidentally dropped my shell by holding down the wrong button, and as it slipped off the cliff, I felt a certain sort of depression hit me like I had just dropped a baby. Anywho, this time actually making my bum up these hills. We mess up another crab, and at the very tippy top he sits a purple-eyed freak. However, first things first, another crystal cluster. Now, this wasn't a big fella, just a regular crab who had become a lot tougher thanks to his armor. He dealt significantly more damage and still dropped one of those crystals upon defeat. Discovering the next shortcut, I also took a little detour here by fluttering towards the left, where I did realize these armored up crabs were bigger and chunkier than the first enemies we encountered, although not quite as massive as the comb holders. Here, I ran into major trouble and I don't know what happens, but I can at the very least say those special abilities are pretty crap. At least the soda one. I used all my heart kelps and was left on low health while dealing with a bit of trouble. Though we did find the shot glass shell, pour me a goddamn vodka. Sadly enough, it breaks in one hit, but offers insane defense while also boosting our damage output a little. But no matter how awesome that thing was, it indeed shattered in one punch and got me killed right after. So here's to hoping I can at least get my junk back, because even with the shortcut, quite a few miles still had to be retraversed. I somehow really screwed up by recovering the wrong shell, getting knocked back by the scrap, and with how incredibly difficult this game can be, him not holding back for even a second, I had officially lost all my microplastics. This is bad. Continuing the run, as we need every scrap we can get for those upgrades, we are already going to be under-leveled for quite a while now. Long story short, this was bad. Plus, I take back what I said about the recovery accessibility. My next death would have been completely unobtainable. There was nothing on it anymore, but still, imagine if there was. So skipping these scraps that have absolutely ruined my day, I find the party hat shell, which gives us more of that magic, with its special ability being party time, causing a huge blast that damages and interrupts enemies. Nothing all too shabby, and with not too shabby, I do mean taking away a quarter of the next boss's health bar. Although he does do the exact same thing to us. This fella can do crushing attacks shown by the blue aggro symbol. I don't think it needs much explaining, the picture alone tells the story. This dude doesn't swing. No. He does 3 massive swinglings and doesn't let up afterward. I tasted mighty defeat. This dude isn't all too special besides those attacks though. We dealt decent damage to him as well, so it wasn't really a stress fest. Mr. Polluted Platoon Pathfinder was taken down in a decently quick time, also giving us his achievement, and a pristine pearl. A gorgeous pearl manufactured somewhere beyond the ocean looks perfect for impressing royalty. Ho ho! Kril's little crush, or well, the Duchess is gonna be happy. With that, we enter the Moonsnail's domain, where we find 2 crystals, giving us 6 in total, before speaking with the Moonsnail who keeps narrating our shit. Dude, who even are you? Kril was thrilled though. He's happy the snail led him to the pearl. I do not think that was his entire plan though, as he just wants to expand our umami abilities. As we get impatient, it gets on our nerves a little, but Kril must close his eyes and allow himself to become one with the waves. So well, Kril tries it, and does start to see something. That something is his skill tree, where we can spend our purple crystals. Awesome, we finally know their purpose. The first and only thing we can unlock is teleportation, allowing us to warp to previously visited moonsnail shells. That will be useful for any sort of cleanup or grind achievements later on. The moonsnail gives us a new shell over here, so we can always repay him a visit. Which is kind, but I do not think I'm done yet. Because we can also learn parry, oh yes, so our shell won't take damage and we can make opponents flinch on occasion. This is a game breaker right here. I grabbed Streamline as well, which allows me to dodge mid-jump, although only on the water. And I also picked up Skewer, letting us perform a lunging attack. And with that, I keep my remaining 20 crystals for now, and get a nice tutorial covering everything we unlocked. Where parrying is a bit different than I thought. It requires releasing the button when attacked instead of pressing it at the right moment. With that, we enter the new Moonsnail shell, level up our little crab friend to Wise with attack, and honestly, it could have easily been 4 times, but sadly enough I still suck at this game and grabbed the wrong recovery. Now we teleport back to the Slack-Tide outskirts. Those 2 new attack buffs are definitely noticeable as I continue through the very grim and grey area. Quite a bit further ahead we meet the Wary Guard again. Or maybe just a wary guard. Nonetheless, he has been standing watch his whole life and got absolutely nothing in return for it. Hey! Somebody's finally starting to understand that this gifted land is a pile of nonsense. However, Kril wants to speak with the Duchess. My boy, not giving a single crap about his mumbling. Sorry, pal, but no matter what you guard, if you attack Kril, you go down. Simple rule, yet often taken for granted. In what appears to be the fallen castle, we find a muzzle. It's like a long clam, boosting our damage by 2. And lucky us, it only costs 1 stowaway point. This is a phenomenal one. Right after, danger struck though. Not a huge problem, or well, maybe a little bit of a problem, but doable nonetheless. Also defeating another Lancemaster, going up here with a little surprise attack and fluttering over to the other side, I was able to quickly snatch some more purple crystals that we now know are really important. Up here we have to fight the biggest dick of all dicks. I've seen many dicks, chunky ones, long ones, but this dick on the other hand was unkillable. The fat pufferfish never allowed me to hit it, granting us yet another death. So now we have to return to that exact location, retraversing all these bits, these pretty large, chunky bits. But thank the Lord, the boss did not reappear, so after taking down the remaining infiltrated enemies inside the leftovers of the fort, we got our belongings back. Having the pufferfish knock me down and the Lancemaster hit me, I was obviously nowhere near his line of attack. We were kinda on the edge of being screwed. Not a minute later, and yes, I died in an even deeper section of the castle. Cannot wait to run all the way back over there. A little impatiently, hoping I would recover my junk in the first place. So, instead of chasing my body, I first grabbed the next moonsnail shell, because at least then we got a checkpoint over here. And I also found an anemone, which is a stowaway for our magic. Before finally reclaiming our stuff, I grappled my way back up and then headed toward the right side to do a handful of platforming. A bit of parkour, a bit of fighting in between, you know, the more relaxing stuff. We got some more crystals over here, and also messing up a big crap, we finally discovered a shortcut, continued grappling around and found inside the seashell, not a pearl, but another Bloodstar limb. Just gotta find one more. Dropping all the way down, we head even deeper, eat a bunch of hits from this crab, and discovered a big gate shortcut, allowing us to enter the fort in mere minutes. But then... Bro chased me like a dog chases its tail. What an idiot. However, I'm wondering how that Duchess lady is doing.
Hey, I don't know if you noticed, but your guards are going nuts out there.
Au contraire, little hermit. Our minds are clear as crystal now.
Oh, shuck.
I once thought my duchy quite beautiful, you know, worth preserving. But compared to the reefs, it's a shameful, transient thing, destined to wash away. That's why I'm having them tear it down. I thought my beauty worth preserving too. But of course, my worthless life will wash away as easily as any other. Almost as easily as yours, little hermit!
Oh snap, yet another boss fight. Of course another boss fight. She cannot do anything but do anything. What in God's name is this pattern?
You're mine! Quit squirming! Can't you see how worthless this all is?
With the absolute bullshit you just threw at me in about 30 seconds. Yes, I think I have encountered a ridiculous boss fight to say the least. Now I know I complained about her patterns, but every boss has a pattern. Weird, weak, strong, whatever it may be, practice shall always make perfect. Surviving for just 6 seconds isn't exactly boosting my confidence. Her stupid little swing ding ching ding swing ding ding attack, it even goes through, yes, it goes through the damn pillars. I thought those were for blocking, but hey, the more we know. I was on my 8th attempt, having filled most of them in no time. Now I don't know what number 8 had with me, but it didn't just make progress during the boss fight.
All of our lives are as sand beneath the tide. You'll see one day.
Sure, I will. Whatever you say. We at least got Royal Wave. Subjugate enemies in front of us with a massive swipe of the Dukeness Crab's Claw, causing them to briefly take increased damage from all sources, which is a bit confusing to me because I'm a stupid guy 101. But it sounds epic. No, Lone Shark, you... well, thanks. And do you really still gotta hold on to our shell, pal? The Duchess is dead anyway. The Lone Shark hit when this craziness broke loose and becomes a bit cocky. And Kril's pissed. He didn't want the Duchess to become a casualty. The Lone Shark acts like he doesn't know where he got the shell from and now wants to pawn it off for some microplastics in the big city. He's breaking the goddamn law here, and you have no right calling yourself a hustler. He's heading to New Carcinia, and if we want it back, we'd better go that way. Lone Shark's dipping like the bitch he is with our goddamn property. We know what Kril's next objective is. First, we learn that the power is running through us. We have learned our first adaptation, an attack learned from powerful creatures that can be used even without a shell equipped. By hitting Q, we can do this little hand attack for a whopping 2 umami charges, so nothing cheap. But now I get it. This is, well, a pretty decent attack that's gonna let us do extra damage to any hermit crabs, or whatever else might still be out there. We also got the brand new teacup shell and discovered the next moonsnail shell. So let's quickly upgrade our attack 2 more times and improve resistance once. With this door now opening, we find some more sweet purple crystals, and then we make our way up these slopes and go on a big walk across this bridge to reach a brand new area. I guess our route's toward the big city. But first I head to the right side of the bridge and traverse the corals to reach the Stainless Relic, a workable piece of metal. Maybe someone can turn it into something useful. From there we make it to the reef's edge, discover the moonsnail shell here, and just listen to this bop. Love how cheerful the music in this game is, while the gameplay definitely says otherwise at certain moments. Now, following the main route through this area, we ran into trouble real quick and met the seahorses. They die quickly, but actually shoot, so they can become a pain once more enemies start showing up. Seeing a pufferfish, I instantly turn away from it and promptly die because that is just a canon event. Recovering our belongings though, this fella dropped us a limpet. Another stowaway only costing 1 slot and granting us more resistance, which is low-key vital. However, our vitality also is. And since I have no upgrades invested into that, I will have to leave it as is for now. Jumping over to the other side, we had a lot, and I mean a lot of platforming to get through. And god damn it, so many stupid crabs in our way. Nabbing a quick death down the watery grave because, you know, if that only happened once, it wouldn't be enough entertainment. I luckily managed to reclaim my junk and totally not die right afterwards, because I didn't have a shell on my last death. Jesus. If that truly really would have happened, I would understand why you disliked the video. Thankfully, since it never happened, I continued climbing higher. Took down another purple-eyed freak, who also had a nice little charge attack for us. Thankfully, I'm so good at this game that I thought I liked the enemies so much and didn't want to see them cry. So I just killed myself to replay this section for the 4th time because I really like this section. It's a fun section, dude. So fun, it's fun. I love replaying it and dying. I mean, just imagine the negative aura you would farm by dying even more times after those completely self-inflicted deaths. Jesus, well, hey, couldn't be me. So after finding the shortcut and definitely not dying a single time, I jumped back down for the Thimble Fingerhead Fortnite backbling thingy. I mean, grab shell. I had to head further down here where even more enemies showed up. These I managed to take down without dying. With that, we jump across some jellyfish, dodge the living shit out of the pufferfish on the other sides because I want absolutely nothing to do with that thing, and hop up to grab the tennis ball shell. And when we speak with Bablo, who asks us if we like going fast, how is that even a question, mate? Apparently Kril isn't fond of it though. Bablo does not give one shit. He is completely too cool and epic with those sunglasses. We are gonna be needing some wicked speed to go down this ramp. This is where Bablo comes in, baby. He's a 5-time Snail Racing League champion at our service. What else could you ask for? Damn right, Bablo. You guys are the fastest species on Earth. He keeps babbling about how he is the epic Boblo, which he is, but we do kinda get it now. And we learned how to sprint and roll, and a new occurrence means a new checkpoint. Which I don't particularly need because, you know, I never die. But it's still nice. Unsurprisingly, surprisingly, I also couldn't level up Kril. Moving on from there, and quite a stroll it was, we see what I am pretty confident is the bridge toward the big city. We spot this crab taking a little nap, which hopefully isn't anything concerning, and enter the vastly large town with a nice beat accompanying it. Though we are quickly stopped in our tracks by Tortellini. Welcome to New Carcinia, a beacon of civilization amongst the harsh violence of the sands between. A testament of the prevailing power of the industry. The city of dreams, the big crab apple, even the defining pillar of the trash economy which supports all of the crustacean society. Nice stuff you all got up here, Tort. Kril's confused and Tortellini introduces himself as the town greeter. That's an actual job? He greets 2 new visitors every day. Sounds like you're a busy man, Tortellini. Oh, haha. Usually it was 20 or 30. So what happened is a better question. If it was only 2, was one of them coincidentally a shark carrying the coolest shell ever seen? And it is! Well, we tell Tortellini exactly what we think of the shark, which maybe isn't the smartest idea, however Tortellini gets excited about it. Cannot really blame him. Not the most exciting function he has on his hands here. Tortellini is a nice fella, but he has no clue where the shark went. Although he does know 4 places where someone might try selling a shell. The Shellfish Desires, maybe the museum if it's an antique shell, and it could also have ended up at the bottom feeders. Or at last, the blacksmith. Thanks, Mr. Linney, you're a big help. So we traverse the first section of the town and make our way to the center, grabbing ourselves another moon snail shell. Over here at the Shellfish Desires, we grapple off the F key and discover a brand new shell. So we could all pay our respects and speak with the Shellfish Greeter. This good friend can get us shell insurance on whatever shell we own. I picked the cheapest one to obtain the Good Claws achievement for purchasing insurance. I could also buy new shells here, even a sussy one. However, I am kinda broke. And as you know, we will not discuss that any further. I also asked him if he saw the loan shark running off with our property, and he sure has. He wants to trade it here, however they do not do trade-ins, so it is still around, good to know. I jumped off this bridge to get into the sketchier side of the big city, found some crystals, and then Kali interrupted us, telling Matna we just broke the crystal. They were happy with the cool crystal, but now it's gone. They are off to finding a new one. Best of luck with that, you bunch of freak shows. Following the path to confetti, we found another moon snail. Oh, sweet! With that, we speak with the hammerhead, the blacksmith, who talks like a pirate. Alas, we don't care, matey. Just here wanting to know if you know anything about a shark carrying the finest piece of property ever witnessed. He saw no loan shark. Make it shine? We can upgrade our fork with 1 stainless relic, so that's what those pieces are for. Glad we found it. More damage can definitely not hurt. 5+ attack? Oh my, wow, that is huge! Okay then, well we are significantly more powerful now. Thanks, Hammerhead. I'll come back with more stainless relics before you know it. A bit further up, Eric interrupts our little adventure. He tells us we must keep our distance. He is a little sad, and I do feel bad for him. He is the kind of guy whose touch hurts everyone around him. Kril tries to reassure him that there must be someone out there for him, whilst almost getting hit by a car. Kril would like to give Eric a big hug. He wants us to leave him alone. Too bad, buddy. Here comes hug. This damaged us pretty badly, and he just sinks further into his sorrows of being a walking disaster that brings everyone to pain. Which, well, is low-key kinda true. But I had to poke myself a total of 7 times to obtain the urchin toss special technique. Now, we can throw an urchin that sticks to enemies before exploding. Yet another skill we can use without a shell equipped. From there, we walk up to the baddie at the bottom feeders. And we can now do a stowaway surface here, and of course ask about the shell. So what's the stowaway deal, huh? Well, they are the little buddies we have been collecting, except now purchasable, giving us a little tease of whatever crazy items we can still find out there. As I got no microplastics to spend. Oh, and we can also increase our capacity for just 2,500 microplastics. I'll be honest with you guys, I did die with all those microplastics a long time ago. If I didn't, this place would have been huge. So I sell the anemone and the barnacle, sadly enough for the storage upgrade, missing it by just 25 microplastics. Let's see if she knows anything about the loan shark. She doesn't. Never seen him before. Well, thanks for your time, ma'am. Now we just jump onto the sponge and make our way back to the upper level of the city. Heading a bit left, we speak with Conch and ask him about the building. It is the museum and he welcomes us in. Although, yeah, that's sweet and all, but have you seen a shark swimming around? He tells us to go to the lower crust, as that's where he would suspect a fella like that would end up. So we just teleport over there, and while Kril was plotting some stuff, is he wearing our shell? Wait, what do you mean by still? Is he Lone Shark disguised? Yeah, okay, buddy. Get the hell out of here. He tries to be all chill about it, claiming nothing was wrong with the shark, but I think he is the shark. And well, even if he isn't, he is right about most things. I can understand Kril's pissness as well. We beg to get it back no matter what. Yet, he quickly derails the conversation because Trash Island is apparently right over there. What do you mean? What do you mean, Trash Island? This is real important to him, apparently.
Trash day! It's trash day! Everyone get your baskets! Don't miss out!
Back off! I saw it first! Get your own trash, lump suckers!
What is that thing?
I've never seen anything like it.
It's a message from the captain! It's got his face right on it! It's gotta be!
Excuse me? Excuse me, please. Pardon me. Excuse me, young lady. As New Cassinia's official historian, I'm sure I can shed some light on... My God! If I'm not mistaken, this is part of a map! A map showing the way to a most valuable treasure, I say! If someone were to find its missing pieces and decipher them, why, they'd be rich beyond their wildest dreams, I say!
Rich? I like the sound of that. That treasure's as good as mine. I'll be able to afford the flashy shell in the ocean, you know?
Not if I get there first! Think of all the tourists that treasure can bring to our city!
Well, don't you count out us bottom-siders. You'll be eating your hat when I get that treasure and fix up my restaurant.
It would appear the hunt is on, I say. The first stop on the map seems to be the forest to the north of here. May the best, Crab!
Apologies for the interruption, folks. I seem to have misheard something. I could have almost sworn there were some citizens here planning on unearthing some valuables. Need I remind you all how threatening the ocean is outside this reef? I'd hope it would go without saying that the duty of such a dangerous excavation would fall to the Shellfish Corporation. That would be safest for all involved. Don't you agree?
Yeah, we hear you, Roland. No problem.
Then, as Shellfish Corp's CEO and this fair city's de facto mayor, I suppose no one would have any objections to my taking sole control of this treasure hunt. Are we all in agreement?
Oh dear. I suppose that sounds all right with me, I say.
You hear what they're talking about over there?
Sounds like some kind of crazy treasure hunt.
Hey kid, I just got an idea. If you can go get that treasure they're jawing about, I'll gladly trade your shell for it.
For real? You'd really do that?
You bet. A prawn never goes back on his promise.
Aw, yeah! I'm gonna find that treasure!
Haha, yeah, you go, kid! Roland can't tell us what to do! That treasure belongs to whoever can find it first!
The corporations don't control us!
I suppose a little friendly competition is only fair. I hope you know what you just dove into, kid. See you in the open ocean, treasure hunters.
Oh, you bet I'll see you there, grade A jackass. The treasure is off in the grove, way north of here, so we got a bit of a walk ahead of us. The pawn shop allows us to sell some junk, and as far as I'm aware, when you die, junk is at the very least not lost, so I sold it all. And can buy our shell back off his hands for just 999 million microplastics. So that's a big joke, but I can buy a stainless relic? Yeah, sure, give me that so I can upgrade our fork another time. Oh, let's do that right now, and I need to. Well, at least I already got the first one, so after quickly leveling my attack 3 times to level 11, we also head over to the Moon Snail's domain for some magic upgrades. Getting aggravation, where a successful shell block causes our next attack to deal increased damage. And then snatching housewarming, where each shell spell may be cast once for free without consuming umami charges. Which is awesome, because you switch through shells all the time anyway. Being poor in crystals, we return to the upper crust and are off, heading way up north. Dropping onto a massive bridge, we enter the sands between area. We continue traversing this huge open sandy region where stronger fish seem to be lurking and where we find the next shell, the little red cup. So yeah, average day for our little crab friend, really. Now, as I glazed the accessibility before, I once again spoke way too soon. I now respawn back at the end of town, forcing me to traverse literally a mile just to reclaim my belongings. Plus, every boss attempt takes about 2 minutes of travel time. Was I happy with this bullshit? Well, no, who would be? And this boss fight is also the hardest early game boss in the entire game, in my opinion. He sucks major dick and balls. This dude once again have been wanting to uninstall life itself because I don't even get the luxury of a retry. I need to traverse half the goddamn map just to give it another shot. So for some reason my guy was camping our spawn, which may sound good because it gets us back into the fight quickly, but no, it isn't. As I first gotta recover my microplastics, which is stressful enough. In this stressful section, I did find the googly stowaway, which is kinda bad for the build I'm going for. I was able to just barely recover my stuff, only to die a second later. This, my friend, this just sucks. I hate this. Now, we can cheese the boss battle. Kinda. It is a game mechanic, so it's not like I'm actually using a glitch or trying to break the game. He likes eating us. But he is allergic to one specific food, and that is a banana. So if we can feed him a banana peel shell and hope he actually eats it, because those are about the same odds as me getting late, that this boss fight is the worst so far. I have now retraversed the stupid sand area for the 20th goddamn time and somehow still managed to recover my belongings. So after being stuck on this for easily 30-40 minutes, I finally got him to eat it. It did massive damage, and then it ate me! Oh my god. I need to find a relaxing game to play next time, man. This shit is getting on my nerves. After putting up with this nonsense for a whopping 30 minutes, I got so goddamn close that even the game over screen took a second to appear. I think the game itself was stunned I was still trying, and then about 10 minutes later I officially stopped being able to recover my corpse. Ladies and gentlemen, I shall not scream and keep the video enjoyable for you. However, I was beginning to debate whether pulling out your pubes with tweezers would be less painful than this shit. Because it is honestly a debatable subject. Trust me, it really is. But what happened next will shock you. So, yeah. I fed him 2 bananas, causing him to die, while I also died during his eating animation. So, we got another crab, which is the size of a crab, knows no upper or lower bounds, and revives us once upon death at the cost of a stowaway. However, I didn't really equip that one, did I? But there is another, however, and it's the best one, as we respawned with the new stowaway, and once I retrieved my corpse, I got the given 20,000 microplastics and it already had the achievement tied to the boss fight, which only means one thing. Well, he's dead. Because he didn't even spawn anymore, meaning I had officially beaten him. It doesn't matter how it happened. It doesn't matter how it happened. He's dead. That's all that matters. He's dead. Following these rubber rings, with also a bit of rolling in between, we start climbing this massive rock after first finding phytoplankton and reach the top, where we got a shortcut. A beautiful moon snail shell always puts a smile on my face, and especially when you have 20,000 microplastics to invest. Boosting our health by 4, because yes, I think it's smart to prioritize that a bit as well. And also increasing our attack 2 more times, we've now got significantly more HP and are once again speaking with Tortellini, who has never gone this far from home and is thrilled about this swell adventure. Happy for you, lad. Dropping down here, we head towards the northern rubber rings. We were obviously entering a new area, a much swampier green one. Having obtained the moon snail shell here in this area too, we moved onwards into the expired grove where Firth is impressed we made it this far. Although my guy has no clue who we are, so how about you just shut it? I shall heed his warning though, about the upcoming section becoming even tougher than before. With the new moon snail shell discovered, I found a new big crab up here who shoots instead of smacks. Or well, does both. So that's just great. I found the eggshell shell. Ha, that was a funny one. And then one-shot this crab with a lunge attack and grapple over this waterfall as we can go behind it to find yet another Bloodstar limb. That is our 5th one, and it has been made whole now, increasing our maximum health. Going down here, oh you gotta be kidding me. I thought we could breathe for a second. Now he isn't all too difficult, as he is quite slow and there's a lot, and I do mean a lot of hard kelp pots. Oh, and shells as well, so yeah, that was doable. But at first try it sure wasn't. Since this is a real boss, we got the classic good retry mechanic from the game, so that is great. And, well, it is a pretty simple boss. His sucking attack also isn't too crazy to dodge, so on my second attempt, being a bit patient, I got him, earned his achievement and obtained the Chum, a small friendly fish willing to come to its companion's defense. Sounds interesting, however, I am not interested. Jumping across to this platform, we had some more climbing to do. Some climbing around, some cavey poles, dodging some spike balls, not the hardest thing we've done yet, making our way through and eventually back outside. There, we stumble upon the next moon snail shell and upgrade our vitality. From this beautiful moon snail shell, we go across the poison river to find a handful of pretty nasty crabs. I am glad to have invested some microplastics into vitality because these are tough nuts to crack. Making it to the other side, old Kril was once again greeted by ridiculous crabs whose sole purpose seems to be ruining our day. So I had to lock in real quick and guarantee a junk recovery. Can truly not afford to lose any more microplastics. I am too underleveled here. These shooting crabs are so annoying. It is unbelievable. Stack on top of that crabs that can pierce through walls, and once again you've got yourself a desk punching simulator. So out of stress, I tried to get away from these buffoons, leading me to discover a new area behind this waterfall. Yet another boss fight, the Curdled Carbonara. Now luckily this boss ain't too hard, so of course not a first try. But the only thing making him annoying is his shield, which is basically impenetrable. Besides that, he is just slow. And well, you really do not want to get hit because his damage output is ridiculous. However, by using my brain and luckily also being able to respawn directly at the boss instead of walking 200 miles for another attempt. So what if it still took me 10 tries to take the bastard down? Probably the shortest boss yet. Rewarding us with a fruit sticker, which yes, you're reading that correctly, increases microplastic rewards. Probably the best stowaway yet, although it costs 3 stowaway points, so I will be decreasing my health and attack bonuses by quite a bit, but I think it'll be worth it. Moving onwards towards our main objective, I continue dodging as much trouble as possible because it simply isn't worth picking a fight. Although all the way at the top was a hammer-wielding crab, one that was a little unavoidable. He isn't all too threatening. And if you're Arctic High School, you can always retraverse the entire path you followed 30 minutes ago because you died and checkpoints are scarce. On my second attempt, I got him, rewarding us with 2 crystals. And thank the lords, we found another moon snail shell. So quickly leveling up my resistance, I once again continue with some platforming while trying to avoid all the enemies as much as possible. And while traversing the next section, still avoiding any sort of combat, I almost mess up everything thanks to a trick. Making out alive from this nonsense, we jump on this SpongeBob launchpad and witness many enemy forces in the distance. Luckily enough, these hairy bushes are no problem. And just imagine if the sharpshooter grabs with 2-shot. God, if that was the case, I would have already uninstalled the game and gone to enjoy my life. After my 17th life contemplation, I continued through some more average platforming with a few disturbances along the way. We found the ice cream cone shell. With that, the walk and climb of life continues as this giant tree pillar, whatever it is absolutely massive. Eventually, we just had no choice but to drop down and could activate a shortcut. Thank God for that shortcut. Kril feels like he's making progress. Not likewise, pal, not likewise. And Nima is glad. Nema, I don't know. However, she isn't fond of how they are fighting other crabs. They are fighting their own people. And even though they're beyond saving, yet it still just doesn't feel right. But I think you are overthinking it. It's kinda like The Walking Dead, they're cooked regardless. Anyway, up here, gosh darn it, man. The hammer guy again? Luckily enough, right? Luckily enough. He totally did not kill us and force us to reclimb and retraverse all the way back to the giant tree again. Because if that would have happened, I would have committed arson. But hey, the shortcut prevented my actions. So with my belongings recovered, I first zipped over to this side for a crap ton of crystals. And then, while dodging all the mumbo jumbo, I snatched the coffee mug shell and went down this pipe, ASAP. Right away, we get ambushed, but they are weaklings, so no problem. With that, we found the Cassidia roll sushi shell, knocked over this bridge for a shortcut, very welcome, and headed onwards to climb onto a boat's hull. Now, of course, I died in just about a minute and only scratched roughly 5% of his health. This dude isn't exactly original, coming in with moves we've seen before. However, as he is a ninja type of guy, he is incredibly fast. And combining strong attacks with ridiculous speed equals a very difficult encounter. Luckily though, we can respawn right in front of him every single time we die. He also did this frightening thing seen before, except he fills the gauge up much quicker. When Kril was frightened, we can no longer heal and become significantly more vulnerable. Besides that, I honestly would have second tried him until he suddenly got one of these undodgeable grab attacks. He spammed it twice in a row. This is going to be another fun ride, everybody. Well, at least for me. So after a total of 8 attempts, I equipped Chum, a fish who can help me out in battle. Now I know, I first said I was uninterested in this little fella, but this little fella, is actually pretty goated. Because he kept this little yellow pissed off meter rising, and once it was full, I caused him major damage before the boss even got the chance to break his chopsticks. So with that... I really hate this game. I'm going to lose my sanity at some point. Because if this is already happening about 20% through the game, then it's only going to get worse from here. And I've already started tweaking. When he breaks his little choppy chopsticks, bang bang, it goes from a hard boss fight to an impossible one. He doesn't even let me breathe. And without exaggeration, not even giving you a 0.5 seconds of breathing room, no dodge window, no nothing. This is another one of those bosses where you just pray you can get him to his last 5% health before going down. A mechanic in these goddamn games that really gets on my nerves. Plus, my immense skill issues are only making things worse and worse. So after a total of 12 attempts, he was eventually a cooked crab. I mean, all horrible things come to an end. All bad things stop eventually. That's why putting yourself to an end is never worth it. Although I was definitely thinking about it. giving his achievement, giving a special thanks to Munch, and earning a brand new Stainless Relic, which I am super happy with. We snatch a new Moonsnail shell, and instead of upgrading Kril, we head back to the big city. First, upgrading our fork to level 3, granting another 5 attack to that bad boy. Then at the bottom feeders, we increased our stowaway capacity twice. So I could equip 5 points worth of stowaways now. So after selling my junk at the prawn shop real quick and offloading some stowaways I didn't need, I managed to increase the capacity to 6. Now added both Chum and the fruit sticker, as I was really digging that Chum during that boss fight, and I think he can be awesome help going forward. The next stowaway capacity upgrade is 20k, so you can forget about it. Upgrading Vitality, the boss we had slain dropped the map, or well, a piece of the map from the cereal box. Kril cannot wait to get back to the city, even though he was there 5 seconds ago. A sudden creature named Kyton tells us we have promise. Kril tells him he could have helped during the fight instead of glazing our combat skills. Haha, sure you were. And calling that beast a mere speed bump is a bit of an understatement, pal. Anywho, with the first map piece obtained, we continued onwards, moving away from the ship and head down into this cave. There's nothing too crazy down here, just a bunch of rotating climbing sections with some enemies on our route I'd rather avoid. Although sadly in this middle section, I did have to put up a fight. But as I dealt with that successfully, having found the spam ham shell, we get information on shell weight. Something that had already become pretty clear to me about 2 hours in. However, 11 hours later and they finally decide to notify us. Up here was another shitty crab, but also a tackle pouch. Very much do not care. Going back, we can jump or well grapple toward the middle section, where we once again climb up. And find one of my favorite things in the game. Shortcuts. Now that can always come in handy, because this next climbing section sucked pretty big juicy nutsacks. But after quickly dealing with this crab on the other side, it wasn't too bad. Getting rid of 2 more of these pretty sturdy crabs, we finally discovered the next Moonsnail shell, and we entered the Curdled Village, where there is a crab with a sniper rifle. I am not lying. A crab with a sniper. So we had to go from cover to avoid getting shot by this buffoon. As I did so, while also getting rid of plenty of extra crabs guarding this dude, you would expect the sniper to be a weak marksman. However, for some reason this dude has one of the biggest HP pools of any regular enemy so far. Genuinely taking and eating so many hits that I was just astonished. Taking this guy down with my mouth wide open. He did drop us a good chunk of crystals, and we also obtained a skull shell. From there I didn't continue immediately. I first wanted to loot and scavenge the entire village because there are so many more crystals to find. Alongside the junk and microplastics. All these little things are needed, man, I promise you. Because otherwise we will be losing our minds at even more bosses, which momentarily I can no longer comprehend. I almost died again to this hammer feller. However, I activated the ability of the skull shell, which gave us another chance at life. Yes, a phenomenal shell indeed. We smack open this door, creating a shortcut. With that, we could quickly level up Vitality 2 more times. Snatch the shark egg in this carton house, which can be used to reset our levels or abilities, so that is big. Going up here and finding yet another skill shell, we continue ascending, dodging some troublemakers, grabbing some more crystals, and making our way even higher. Needing to do some climbing while also being shot at by one of the most annoying enemy types in the game so far, we make it out safely. Return to a more blue ocean section, and at the far end of this first platform I spotted a large purple crystal. We must find our way over there, because those provide like 6 or 8 pieces. As it turns out, I found my way to that thing in about a second. I wanted to continue from there, but after getting shot by another sure shot crab, boom. Try to be a little sure shot shroom boom there. I decided to jump down into another cave section. Inside this cave were my 2 greatest rivals, Hammerman and Hammerman. I hate these dudes, but with a skull shell on my back, capable of granting me a second life, I could never lose, right? Well, of course I lost. I forgot I was playing a Souls-like. Although second time was the charm, and all of this was rewarded a what a gum, which slows enemies that hit us. However, we really don't have room for it, so it's kinda useless inside this clam! The next Stainless Relic, baby! Woo! I can smell the next upgrades will require 3 of these, but for now, we only need 2 more. With that obtained, we left the shithole and went down into this little cavern hole before heading up a hill and making it to a pretty vast and beautiful sea area, where we can equip dead crabs as our shell. Oh, that is awesome. Its special ability is a decoy, which may actually come in handy. Luckily, we recently had fought a boss, so we should be...
Why do you sad, polluted crabs keep coming to this place? I thought I made it clear. There's nothing for you here. Has your sense of self-preservation rotted away, even? Or perhaps you truly wish for death? Well, I'll gladly oblige you, my friend. Square up, devil!
This dude is the definition of ADHD. I thought the Asian lobster was the pinnacle of that, but this guy made him look like someone who smokes pot. Holy snap. Take a bloody chill pill, pal. We also found the coconut shell around here somewhere, but long story short, I was in for yet another nail biter. Although just 10 minutes in, I already got him to over half HP.
I'll break you apart! Here comes the
A classic for this game. Needing a good chunk of HP for the second phase because some of these moves are unavoidable or unblockable. That is some grade A design right there. Shortly after I almost had him, I still had all my health and stuff, only it turns out I wasn't kidding. When he does the sandstorm move, it is indeed unblockable. Even a full health shell gets pierced right through, making this probably the least fair encounter in the game so far. Despite that happening, I almost still had him, which makes it not difficult, just pretty goddamn luck-based. So this dude really ticked me off. I was completely fine at parrying and blocking everything else, but then he pulls out a more move covering about like 75% of the battlefield. Reading comments online about this encounter, I was definitely not the only person calling his little blue bullshit. It's bullshit. And if you're wondering what I mean by RNG, well, sometimes he uses that blue move 4 times during a singular fight with the sandstorm shit. Other times, without joking, 10 times. Making one attempt significantly harder than the next. There's no, and I mean no, pattern. He just chooses whatever he feels like doing, meaning practice doesn't really make perfect here. Because all of his normal attacks are honestly some of the easiest parries I've pulled so far. One time, he even came so buddy close with that stupid blue move that he punched me through the floor. This is the worst boss fight I've seen in a long while. And the worst part is that it isn't even a skill issue. Usually my rants are unacceptable because I'm just bitching about fights I suck at. This right here is just getting on your knees and praying he doesn't use the blue attacks. Surprisingly, for an RNG heavy battle, I wasted the bastard in about 30 minutes.
You deserve your fate, monster! Seems like I'm still out of practice. All skills fade with time, I suppose. I truly thought I would perish in a cooler way, though. Fighting at least 10 or 12 guys. Well, you've earned that petite crab. Come and put my tortured soul to rest.
I'm not trying to kill you.
Oh.
Yes, oh. We do not want to kill anybody. Only sadly enough, people gotta make it so hard on us. Topoda thought our mind was polluted and had to be a jackass for a total of 30 minutes. So screw you. Oh wait, no. I spoke too early. He can teach us something neat. He can teach us some skills. If we yap with him a bit more, he can quote-unquote help us train our abilities by spending crystals on them. Now, Royal Wave is pretty awesome, although I think I first need to max out the skill tree for an achievement, as far as I'm aware. So I upgraded Royal Wave because it is something I use consistently. And then he offers to teach us a secret technique, so we accept, gaining the Mantis Punch, allowing us to unleash the overwhelming might of a mantis shrimp to demolish our enemies or certain umami-infused objects. Charging it? Oh snap! It is almost the same as my dude's blue attack. Me beating him was worth it after all. Grabbing a car claw worth 20,000 microplastics? That is insane! We got the next moon snail shell and teleported to the moon snail's domain. There I picked up the plunge skill and got the scrap hammer right after, allowing us to stick shells onto our fork, creating a powerful hammer. Plus, we can also wear them on our back if we want to. With this, I raised resistance by 1 and got a bit of a change of plans over at the upper crust. As there's a phenomenal thing we can do to get some extra microplastics back at the infamous sands between. all the way west-northwest, until you start seeing these pillars. At these pillars, we can have a blast with these dark X's in the sand, because when you rage bait these worms, once they pop out, you can get some damage in. Every single one you take down gives you about 750 microplastics. This was a phenomenal place to grind some extra cash and make up for the handful we had lost. Having also found the spring shell, I did this for about 10 minutes, got a good amount of microplastics, and totally didn't die. I got to recover my chunk though and wanted to keep farming until I had 20k, which will led to me grinding all the way to 30k. But that's good, because we can now return to the city, and I couldn't find my way back. But eventually, after getting into some trouble as well, I stumbled back onto the expired null moonsnail shell, allowing me to first raise attack 3 times before returning to the upper crust. There, I sold as much junk as possible, getting my microplastics from 5.4k to 9.6k. Bought the Sinker Plus stowaway and the lamprey. Sadly enough, that one is useless for now because the Sinker Plus eats up 3 slots. With my remaining 2.6k, I turned that into 30.6k by selling all our junk. With that, I upgraded resistance only twice because it is getting expensive, you guys. Alright, with this all out of the way, we could continue the main story progression by returning to Tapada's garden and breaking this massive block with this newly taught ability. For the old world world, a shell from a forgotten time inscribed with knowledge. It increases our umami charges by 1. Which is great. I mean, 1 whole charge is big. Now, I lied a little about the continuing story progression thing. There is one more thing we must do, which is once again traveling to the big boy city, open ocean, and making one huge journey toward the northwest. Towards those spikes, I ignored them this time and walked closely past them, causing the ground to start shaking, and spot some crabs having a phenomenal time. What we want to do here is kinda ruin the party and kill the big crab with the disco ball shell. However, the shell he's wearing is probably the best one we can obtain thus far, and it is only going to get even better from here. I of course first die, otherwise it wouldn't be an Arctic Icicle video. So I had to make another 3-minute trek back to that spot, recover my junk, quickly get back to safety and give it another go. As I realized I could simply jump down because the area is a safe zone. I took my sweet time and got that disco ball shell, all for that sweet succulent shield, just look at that. Next step was trying to figure out how to get out of this massive area. And once I did that, I returned to town one last time to put insurance on the disco ball. This bad boy is gonna save lives, ladies and gentlemen. Or well, I sure hope so. We teleported back to the oil drum, aka the expired grove, to head left and finally break this block. Behind it, we got a handful of ugly mugs to take out, including yet another hammer fella. But thanks to our improved attack stat, this dude was no struggle whatsoever. So going back, as I wandered toward the wrong side, I grappled over here to get a new valve shell. An awesome shell if I say so myself, however it belongs to the large weight class, making dodging absolute hell. Finding the legal brick shell over on all these little tree houses, we discovered the shortcut for the path we just traversed, and entered a brand new area, Flotsam-ville. As we continue walking along the linear path, whatever that cage was, it wasn't anything nice. So as this fella curb stomps us, I couldn't stop wondering what in God's name I was supposed to do here. What sucks so much about this boss is that he one-shots you. Whether you block or not, you're dead. So it's pretty much a guaranteed no-hit fight. There might be certain attacks that don't instantly kill you, but getting hit by those doesn't really matter because his other attacks will finish the job anyway. But I shouldn't complain too much. I beat the dudes in what, like 25 minutes? By simply needing to cut off all these green strings. Easy is done by turning our fork into a hammer. We can now summon a tentacle of pure umami that attacks alongside us whenever we swing our blade. Holy crap, it's like Munch but Loki better. We create the shortcut and jump down with it, heading left toward this little middle island. Not only do we find a bunch of crystals, but also the boxing glove shell. From here, we return to the shoreline and begin making our way across these platforms, where I will get jump scared a bit, and I'm praying that once I tap out of this Bloodstar limb, I will not get smacked into the stratosphere. As I simply didn't, someone please explain to me what in the actual fugger-nugger da bugger-dugger these fellas were. Completely stunning me and not allowing me to move any further. The second time I got there though, I knew what was ahead. And still, with their poison and stuff, Jesus Christ, are these seals and boomsticks annoying. Although after being a bit patient, I took them all down, with the very last one dropping me a shotgun shell. Much obliged, partner. Right after we found the cowfish boy. Which is a costume for Kril that provides absolutely no benefits besides him giving a cooler poncho and a sick ass hat, so style points it is. I found the Bebop cup shell. From here we are not moving forwards but instead taking a left onto this semi-secret route, where we first find a rubber ducky shell and jump down here to take care of business and flip a switch, raising a giant ball and forcing us to do some risky poison platforming back toward the upper route. Climbing across thanks to the ball, and at the far end of the trail we find more crabs. And not a small amount either. The hammer crab was lucky. He got me in a bad position I like to call the game doesn't like me, where I got pushed into a wall and I couldn't escape, and of course died. Now I had to risk our cute petite height from the goddamn cage boss area all the way back to that cave. Luckily my junk was recoverable and the rest of the crabs could suck a dick. We opened another moonsnail shell and upgraded vitality twice, real quickly, because it was time to continue onward, finding a sponge which honestly looked like a great stowaway if I had the room for it. Pushing even deeper into this area where we return to the expired grove? I love shortcuts, but that was the whole section really just for a bloody sponge. Yeah. No, okay, this bit was mainly for the shortcut. We did find a moonsnail shell here though, so well, yeah, it is needed. Plus, they are useful for shellports, so it's okie dokie. We could continue downwards and fight a decently big surprise battle full of regular crabs to find another old world. Just one more for another umami charge. Now we once again got fooled by a fake shell where a crab was hiding inside a tissue box. Killing him grants us another shark egg and we sadly cannot take the tissue box as a shell. Apparently it just despawned. Jumping over to the next island. Hey, it's Lobster McLobster again. Been a while since we saw you, fella. With our damage buffs, he was quickly taken care of and dropped us the Shark Tooth Plus, granting 40% more charged attack damage. Although, as this is a stowaway, I sadly don't have room for it. Walking around Mr. Lobster's hideout, we move on to the next island and encounter another boss. However, this is a brand new fight. Or well, kinda. He is like the other big crab we fought last time, but kinda. Not kinda, he's the exact same. Only now his massive stomp attack leaves behind a trail of poison. Yeah, no, sorry, but long story short, this fella was nothing but a laughing stock. Second trying him with my new hammer strategy, because what a phenomenal thing that weapon is. We get some zooplankton from it, and after earning its achievement, we backtrack a little and head down another route. Traversing some poison for more crystals, I was on the edge of defeat while trying to reach this little middle section so I could eventually make it back to the shoreline, where trouble was, well, trouble. But all prayers were answered when I found this heart kelp. Going back a bit, we spot this geyser, allowing us to launch upwards from there to drop down to find the cardboard box shell. From here, we simply move over to the other side because at the end of the route, we find a hair claw. Jump down here, push onwards, find another hair claw, and eventually make quick work of a big brute for yet another hair claw. They are good though, because these bad boys are worth 2,500 microplastics. As I continued, I found even more junk we could sell for a decent amount of microplastics, but also more enemies, which was getting a tad bit out of hand, as I also didn't really have much health left, plus no heart kelp pots. Still, I somehow pulled it all off and found a cock. Wait, no joke, 20 more hammer damage? Oh wait, no. This thing is awesome! However, it costs 3 slots, but I can swap it in during the boss fights instead of the fruit sticker. That is a good idea to me. Jumping down into the water, I got stuck behind this grabbable wall. By a miracle, I could still latch onto it, otherwise I would have lost everything. Now with my low HP, I had to get past Mr. Lobster, rush up here ASAP, dodge the big crab, and luckily reach the shortcut. Because if I didn't, I may or may not have torn my setup apart, and that wasn't necessary, as we head to the other side, jump down here, and shit. Yeah, makes sense, don't you think? We had to fight the Gervais sisters. Thankfully, we could respawn right at the boss arena. What sucked about these two is that they are basically 2 of the most annoying enemies in the game so far. Now, bigger, stronger, and faster, and somehow even more annoying. They are very difficult to reach. However, I still got them on my second try because I do not think you fully understand the power of our attack upgrades. And the amazing resistance and this disco ball shell. We are one tough crap, alright. Plus, I am just a very good gamer. Oh, and some extra credits to the hammer. It is the best thing we have equipped so far. Having unlocked the bubble adaptation, I still went with the tactical tentacle because it remains the GOAT. So going up this nice little conveniently placed geyser, we activate the next shortcut. Heading up here, I first fall through the little gap and then flip the switch, allowing us to get up here for the next map piece. From there we can jump down to the seashell where we unlocked and obtained another Bloodstar limb. We just gotta find 2 more. Going left to kill this crab for some more crystals. With that, heading down we find an actual equipable box of tissue shell. Great to finally have added that to the collection. And after a very long stressful stretch, we finally found a moonsnail shell to recover our health and heart kelp pots. Whew, it's about time. We raise our attack 2 more times and teleport to the upper crust, aka Big Boy City, to place both our beautiful maps with the museum man Conch, who is willing to decipher what we have found. Map piece number 1. We see a mailbox, and of course the sea life has never seen one before. However, Conch knows all about it. Besides knowing that it's just a mailbox, it is actually a building located in Flotsamville to the east of here. Nema knows about it too. Oh snap, it is that douchebag Roland's company town. Furf spits some facts, he isn't someone we can really deal with. And Nema and Furf both know Roland has the upper hand and that we are heavily outnumbered. Although Kril refuses to believe it, as he was the first to find the map. But still, we are heading to Flotsamville nonetheless. But hold on just a second, we still have the second to last piece with us. A monstrous crab dwells in the sands between according to this map. Are you talking about old Pagaris the Ravenous? No, he's history, pal. Can hang him up in the museum if you want. According to Conch, he devoured the map piece, so will it just be lying around somewhere or do we have to refight him? Anyway, it appears we also had the final piece, which was from Conch the Ravenous dumbass. So let's just see where that treasure lies, man. It rests off the coast of the Flotsamville, submerged within the slurry. So that's awesome! All we gotta do now is... Oh snap. It's Roland. Indeed, it is time to head there, Conch. However, first, let me take my sweet time selling some stowaways and junk. This gave me a good amount of extra microplastics, allowing me to upgrade resistance 3 more times. Because even though the disco ball is awesome, the more resistance the better. Going back to Flotsamville, we make a hard right and move towards whatever that electricity thing is in the distance. And at it, we found a new shell called the plug fuse, which we could stick in here to open this gate. Behind it, we could snatch a handful of goodies while also finding a new outfit called the blue collar that I do not really care for. Exiting that place, we get the next moonsnail shell, which is wonderful. To continue, I dodge all these attack goons, because I got no time for them. To snatch a spring, allowing us to get sucked up here by the magnet and find a plug. Easy peasy puzzling. With that thing moved out of the way, we had to wait a bit for it to return before dropping down here and taking these goons out. Sadly enough now without the disco ball, although these 3 idiots are simple enough that I do not completely rely on that thing. From here we just had to do a bit of climbing, you know? These are the easier kind of parts in this game. Or well, up until that final leap. You had to jump and glide perfectly across to the right. This was a pain in the nuts because there was also spike balls above you. And whenever they hit you, they stun you and teleport you back to the beginning. But I got it on my second try, so it wasn't really that hard. But definitely the toughest platforming section yet. We were rewarded with a moon snail shell, so all bads became good. Discovering a shortcut and waiting for our next ride, which, well, is a long one. Arriving at our destination, we took out these two freak shows. Heading back, we got some more idiots to deal with. Although sadly enough, I fell all the way down. Luckily, this isn't getting over it, and we can access this fishing rod to get back to where we were. And continue our crab adventure. This crab venture was so fun until I somehow fell through whatever mini gap Kril dropped through at this time, allowing me to redo the entire magnet ride, everything attached to it. That's so fun. I'm so glad I died. Now this time, not falling or anything, we fought through blood, sweat and suicidal thoughts for this wonderful rubber band. Now we had to jump down anyway, meaning I could have already done this bitch while I was down there. To now grab a fuse from below and once again make our way back up the route we tried climbing earlier. Which sadly turned into death last time, but not this time. After inserting the fuse, we get just this elevator working. Okay. The elevator allows us to bypass the broken staircase and make it onto the top of the building we have been traversing. In the distance, I see a big chunky grasshopper. Doesn't pique my interest. However, this plug does. Sticking it into this hole doesn't lower the bridge, but it does allow us to grapple across. So for content purposes, I fought the grasshopper. He is annoying with his electric stun. Besides that, I absolutely molested him. And then grappled over to the next moon snail shell, where we could drop down here and find a puffer quill, which is pretty interesting, not gonna lie. As cool as that may be, we actually need to grab a spring first before coming here, as we once again need to travel on the giant magnet. Now the grasshopper came back to see if he could screw us over this time, and as you might have guessed, he of course could, as he spams an electric attack that no longer allows you to move, making the encounter near impossible. This time I completely dodged blood, grabbed a massive crystal badge and jumped down for the mason jar shell, and then hopped onto the sponge for a plug. That plug we brought back to activate the next electrical current, so going up here with the fishing line I dodged as many enemies as possible to make my way even higher, then drop down along the side walls, allowing us to obtain, yes, another stainless relic. That is a beautiful sight to see. Being up on these higher beams, we gotta watch out we don't fall off or die. But with the crystal collected, we head toward the staircase. And up here, no fuse? But it took me 10 minutes to get here! Well, down here was at least a moon snail shell, so we got some sort of checkpoint. And how great that may be, I just need to know where I'm supposed to get the plug fuse from. If it didn't spawn where it should spawn, and there was no guide about this section either, it just should be there. My game was, well, I'm scared to say it, but I think I'm soft-locked. The plug all the way down wasn't there anymore. As I tried and tried to fix it, searching all over the internet, I decided to reboot my game and see if that would solve the issue. It didn't. I am screwed. Oh, wait. You guys, I wasn't screwed. I just had a couple screws loose in my head. A section we had visited earlier lets us flip a switch, pumping out one of those plugs. So as per usual, I complain about how the game is shitty and how things don't work. But it was just me not having a functioning brain. This plug lowered the giant's propane tank. So first, quickly upgrading attack inside the propane tank, the first thing we find is the ink cartridge shell. Very nice, very nice. Although for the rest of it, the propane tank is mostly to function as a bridge, requiring us to walk around, where we once again back inside another building find ourselves a large crystal and then quickly drop to our deaths. This part of the video. After that, quickly do it again and then start climbing back up here, where we find a salt. Something I couldn't give a crap about. This fight though, I could definitely give a crap about. It was tough, it was hard, and I surprisingly won while being one smackaroon away from death. Don't ask how, just accept that I've got yet another plug fuse. But first, hop onto this magnet to drop onto a pile of junk where we can obtain the toy truck shell. With the plug in hand, we can start crossing this massive bridge and lower the fishing rod. Having passed it, yet another building facility. Big place. Which was an awesome place because we found another stainless relic, meaning we can level up that sweet fork again. Anywho, we can head back to those platforms and now move toward the actual area where we had to go. Fur found the way to the power center. Kril asks if he wants to come, but he tells us we need to take the honors. He wouldn't want to rob it off of us. Yeah, sure. You're just a scary cat. Firth tells us that he doesn't blame the rich for being bad people, and that they can lose their way sometimes. However, if he could get rich, he would donate a lot of money towards making things better. And when I read that, I don't know, Firth, I got a slim feeling you ain't one of us. Not important right now, let's jump into that power center.
The world these days is dark and mean. Even the water tastes unclean. And even those you love and trust would rip your limbs off if they must. Like Mr. R, the one in charge, who scrapped our homes to build his barge. But don't be gloomy, glum, or sad, 'cause down in here, it's not so bad. Save crying for another day. Forget it all. Come on, let's play.
Now okay, she starts shooting with her electrical hairdryer, which kills us in no time. However, I didn't have my disco ball equipped, plus no hearts either. So this is the real run. And well, she ain't tough. During this run, I learned that patience is key. Her first phase is attack, then she eels her way over to the other side and continues attacking, but also gives you more opportunities to strike back. I mean, eventually she starts using your mom's bedroom toy. So yeah, not exactly the most powerful weapon in existence. Of course, I didn't second try it, because I mean, what do you think I am? But on my third try I also died, and on my fourth I remembered I could use different stowaways in boss fights, which may not be the worst idea. So equipping the rubber bands, reducing the effectiveness of electrical attacks, so yeah, maybe that does come in handy. And throwing in the muscle as we had a spare free slot, the boss fight Loki sucks. I take back what I said, it is a tough nut. She has 4 different phases that are random and she decides to do whenever she feels like it. Always starting off with the hairdryer, which became significantly easier with the rubber band, and then either going for the vibrator, toaster, or triple chin shockwave. If you get her to half HP, she starts floating around, fill the arena with toxic, and then just repeats her previous attacks, only now harder, with poison around the battlefield. It still didn't take long for me to beat her though, by taking a pretty big risk at the end.
Thanks for playing with me.
High risk, high rewards. Having obtained the electrocute adaptation, we also got a crap ton of extra crystals. Now, with her new ability... Yes, that can come in very handy. Now we could drop back into Flotsamville. Returning to the Moonsnail shell we came from before all this electrical nonsense happened, we could restore our health and stuff. Level up resistance one more time and now charge up this boat. Nema is impressed. If we hurry, we could get that treasure before Roland. Kaiten comes by again to say hello, telling us that Godspeed is indeed of the essence. She ain't looking for no treasure. She wants to kill whatever caused all this poison. Fair enough. Well, the rest of the gang is coming too. Even Tortellini. And this whole town. This is going to be an awesome trip, although Kril prefers the boat a little less crowded. Everyone says what they will be doing with the money, but Firth keeps saying he will donate it all. If he gets the entire treasure, he shall split it with us and then help the town out equally. Nema buys it, Conch kinda, and Firth asks if Kril agrees. Phew! Whew. Luckily he doesn't. Kril cannot split the treasure. He needs it to... oh wait, now hold on. No splitting at all, Kril? I thought you just didn't want Firth to have it. But keeping it all to yourself? I mean, you did all the work, but without Conch this wouldn't be possible. And well, Firth and Nema are here kind of for shits and giggles, so... you should at least split it with Conch. As the crew is of course upset, Conch is interested in how rare this shell must be. Even Kaiten is curious now. Wait, so she did come along? Oh, even Firth is interested. Okay then, well, Kril very simply and calmly says that it's his. Goes on a little sob story about how he liked his old life and never wanted to do this treasure hunting stuff, and Nema's pissed, as they never lived a normal life like Kril did. And sorry, it is hard taking this seriously with Tortellini just standing there like an absolute buffoon. I love that dude. Now wait, Firth is siding with us? If we find it, it's ours? Well damn! You just earned yourself some respect, blue dude. Nima's mad and wants us to throw him off board, but Tortellini found land. He finally got to say land ho. With the moose nil shell found here, on the mouth of the drain, up ahead is a lot, and I mean a lot of platforming. Nothing all too crazy luckily enough, so I traversed all these platforms while taking my sweet time collecting whatever nice cheeky things the place had laying around. But after climbing for about 4 minutes, we made it to the pinball machine.
Well, that wasn't as bad as I thought. No one even showed up to stop us.
I don't like it. Something smells about all this. Roland knew we were gonna show up, so where's all the resistance? It all really stinks of...
A trap? Right you are, bottom feeder. See, us civilized folk have rules. As much as I dislike your little mottled crew, it wouldn't be gentlemanlike to have you disposed of without a good reason. But all y'all have just stepped onto my private property without permission. And where I come from, that's a crime called trespassing. I presume you know what we do to trespassers at Shellfish Corp. Inkerton, kill the city folk.
Gladly.
And as for you... I'll send you down the drain myself, you little flatworm! It's just business, kid! There's Melvin! Here comes the thunder! Ellie! Oh, shit! Yes! Yes! This is what we were made for!
Dude, did I just actually almost first try that fat chunky dude? Oh, this fight ought to be easy. I like it. I really like it. That was one lucky run or something. This dude wasn't the toughest, but he was just so quick with his attacks. All I had to hope for was that he didn't do too many of his crazy stomp spams, as those instantly break your shell and kill you with it. So by applying slight patience, but overall just reacting the second he made a move, we did get him eventually.
Remarkable work, vagabond. The barge is ours. All that remains is to...
What the shell was that?
Stupid little bottom feeders. Don't let any of these trespassers leave, boys.
Oh, son.
Y'all just don't know when to quit, do you? You could have all stayed in your cozy little homes in the reef, watched a shellfish corp dug up this treasure, and waited for that newfound wealth to benefit everyone in town. But y'all just had to get greedy. You decided you deserved this treasure more than the fine people of New Carcinia. And I would be remiss as a local business leader if I didn't punish y'all for this little indiscretion. I dare say that not a single one of y'all...
Shut up! I've been working my butt off trying to get my old life back! I'm pretty sure I've been working harder than anyone else! And now all of a sudden, I'm the jerk for wanting the treasure I earned? And you don't have to do anything at all! You just sit around and stuff just happens for you! It's not fair! It's all a bunch of bullshit! I'm sick of it! I'm gonna get that
Kril, wait!
treasure!
Hold on to something, y'all!
Oh, my head. Where am I? It's so cold. Anyone? Can you hear me? Nema? Chitin? Conch? Blue guy? I think this is my fault.
What word comes to mind when you think of the Earth?
Hello? Is someone there?
Would you say the Earth is beautiful?
No. It's mean, and it's rude, and it's scary, and everything nice in it just gets messed up eventually anyway.
It's over. It's all over. But like, for real this time.
There you are! Do you know what happened to the others?
Oh, now you care about the others, is that right? They can get boiled for all I care, and as a matter of fact, so can you! Take a look, pal. Here's the treasure you had us throw our lives away for!
What's that?
It's nothing! Nothing usable at all! No plastic, no glass, not even a single nugget of foam. Just this pile of damp paper. It's totally worthless.
It was really all for nothing? So what do we do now?
You want my advice? Go find whatever the apex predator is down here and jump in their goddamn mouth! Then you'll finally be valuable to someone!
If the world is ugly, then you need to fight. Fight to rip this ugly world apart.
I don't want to. I'm tired of fighting. I never wanted to be any good at it. I'm never getting my show back. So what's the point?
If you don't fight, you will die like prey, along with the rest of this world.
Maybe I don't care.
Damn. Never thought we would see depressed Kril. Nema saves us from monsters though and tells us we shouldn't give up. She continues to join our emotion and tries to pep us up. However, something is wrong with Kril. Kril isn't dead, but suffered a memory loss. Conch tells us that at least for now the gunk infection has been fought off. Further exposure ain't no good idea. Krill's back on his feet and sees this door, unopenable for now. Over here we find the Krillionaire costume and we head into the darkness, shell ourselves up and find a glow stick. This lights our area up a bit, hope we can find more along the way. Having entered the Unfathom, there are eels sneaking around here and holy snap do they deal damage. And they are a tough one to crack, we need to watch out big time. Having found another glow stick, I backtracked a bit for the light bulb shell. Sadly enough, this thing doesn't light up anymore. Now wanting to grab this item, oh crap! That is no item! This dude had me thinking I was going to be dead. However, I kinda knocked him off the edge, so bye bye pal. Oh, and the light bulb does light up. It just saves energy where there is already light. So wait now. It got turned on thanks to the shell shock ability. Okay, got it. Next glow stick was found, lighting the place up blue, and the fish also found us. But with me finding this mouse shell, it came at the perfect time and we just about handled it. But I need some HP. ASAP. And my prayers were answered. We found the door that we couldn't. Oh, okay. So it is also not openable from this side. That's okay, that's fine. Totally doing great on health. So don't you worry about me. Actually finding a hard kelp pot, I almost died trying to retrieve it, but yet here we are. Back with a little bit of HP, now making a fool, and I mean a fool, cause System's right, at the end of the road, we find the exiled flame costume. Which, well, does look pretty dope. So sorry, cowboy attire. With this cool, fiery trill, I was keeping my wits about me, everyone. I do not want to engage in any combat. This entire section has no checkpoints, and I'm not planning on redoing it all. So when I found the red glow stick and a hard kelp pot, we traversed toward the next island, where I kept my very nice little crabby carapace away from whatever was lurking out there. To finally open that door from the beginning section, giving us a breather if we would die. Having now no more scaredness, taking this fella down. Going to the left side, we found one very scary item to say the least. Am I glad we got that shortcut? I mean, it was bound to happen, so glad it happened now. We continue onwards and just keep pushing left. Climbing up here and deal with the little white spunks. These dudes are really annoying. Like little leeches. Further ahead, a bit more toward the right side, so we could jump into a sort of red area, where I really started to take in all that music was just gone. This area was really relying entirely on ambience, while every section so far had crazy pumping music. Still, this place wasn't boring. It was genuinely terrifying to maneuver through and very, very ominous. I love it so much. Conch and I found a ruin with a symbol. This could be an ocean-shaking archaeological discoveries. Kril just wants his shell back, but Conch says that this artifact could be worth even more. This is a fragment of a place thought long lost to the waves. They were quickly scavenged, repurposed, or locked away in private collections. He simply cannot imagine the current owner of Kril's shell being unable to part with it for a treasure like that. And there are more of these pillars scattered around. This used to be a road. That light in the distance, that's our next stop. So let's head over there. Now we move toward that current, or mommy current. You know, the route to it was mostly jumping, and occasionally activating a glow stick. Nothing all too fancy, just of course having to actually find my way through this hellscape. That definitely didn't go too well. Not even remotely flawlessly. I died and had to redo so many sections, it honestly was unfun. However, I didn't feel like once again bothering you with all my bitching, although I guess I still kinda did. Traversing this place was almost the most confusing thing yet in the game, and with the pretty nasty enemies around, plus no checkpoints, I deeply hated it. Nonetheless, after finding 3 shells in total and spending roughly an hour and a half down here searching for an exit, we finally made it to the current. And inside... Oh great, yes! Sprinkle in another boss fight, so glad they did that. Because if they didn't, the game would be too easy and I would have nothing to complain about. Once we defeated him, we obtained the Snail Sanctuary, allowing us to summon a shell made entirely of umami. Although honestly, I'm just happy with the moon snail shell. Nima's shocked at how this little thing can take us right back to town. Kril and the crew wonder if anybody else survived, and yes, it's tortellini, thank God. Nima's going back to her shop, back to her kids. We may delve deeper alongside our archaeologist friend. However, Nima wants us to stop by her shop first. Let me first just finally enjoy the peace of mind I can gather around here in our trusty little shell. Because damn, the shit we just endured was pretty shit, my god. But no rest for the best. It is time to venture onwards and upwards and eventually also downward again. All the way until we enter the abyssal plains where a big, huge, long-legged spider crab is... Wait, what? Okay then, this guy might actually be trouble. Now the massive problem with these dudes is that they can sense you. So no matter where you are, they know where you are. Although their range is pretty mild, so you have plenty of time to do a bit of exploring around the edges of the map. But get too close and you're dead. They got one heck of a lock on. But I broke the system. I had this crab trying to kill me while I was chilling underneath him. By simply sitting in this corner, he couldn't fire at me. So he kept charging his bombs into the tree stump. Occasionally tried to swing or stomp me too, but it was no good. The idiot blew himself up. With him dropping absolutely nothing, by the way, being able to safely explore the ocean now, we found the next moon snail shell. Which came in handy, alright. So leveled up resistance, and now, let me tell you one thing. This moon snail shell wasn't handed to us because the game was being nice. We got it because down here is the next batch of Mumbo Jumbo. Mumbo Jumbo that can grab you through the rocks and then blast you to hell and back. Great, just what I needed. So trying my best to survive this absolute hellhole, because that's exactly what it is, I was lucky enough to stumble upon our next old world world. So that is now 5 umami charges at our disposal. After grabbing that whirl, I was once again trying my best to stay alive out here, and somehow that was going okay. I found another shortcut, recovered my old junk, and then made the riskiest move yet by running toward the center. Because there, we could find the heavily guarded Stainless Relic. It was also the second I acknowledged this information that my brain told me it was time to run. Because shortly afterwards, I turned my brain off and died in the worst way possible, meaning I somehow had to retrieve those 20,000 microplastics while about 4 guided missiles shooting crabs were roaming the area. But with my epic gamer skills, I did pull it off, allowing me to uncover the next shortcut up here. and a party popper shell. Now I stuck that party popper onto my little fork because we might need it later, but first it was time to make the long journey back. Which turned into a bit of an adventure thanks to all the trouble tagging along behind me. Back at the shortcut we found earlier, I could finally breathe again, as we found another big boy crab. But this one was slain by the one and only chitin. Plus we found ourselves another moon snail shell. Can never go wrong with that. Continuing forwards, we find plenty more party poppers. Guess I never really needed to bring one with me, huh?
And you're certain we're going the right way?
How should I know? Think I spend my weekends here, do you?
Well then, what the shuck am I still paying you for? Matter of fact, we're in this mess cause you couldn't defeat a damn lobster. Good for nothing. I should have left you on the seabed where I found you, you little...
Eh? It's you. Enjoying the spoils, are you, lad? Proud of what you've done?
Look, man, I don't want anything from you. Please just leave me alone. I don't want to fight anymore.
Please leave me alone. I don't want to fight anymore.
But fight ye did. Just like me. Just like old Lincoln. And down here we've both drifted. Two worthless sinners. Right where we belong. The bottom of the train!
This guy uses a party popper as a gun, and it's too powerful, man. A party popper should not be giving this kind of knockback. I don't know what his defense levels are, but they are tremendously high. My guy doesn't eat attacks. He does not give one crap about how strong I am. Now, I was doing this boss fight wrong for about 30 minutes straight. I mean, theoretically, you cannot really do a boss fight wrong. There are always thousands of ways and stories people tell about how they can beat a boss. But there's always a more efficient strategy. I was already utilizing the Mantis Punch for the first time in a while, as that bad boy really tickles his weak point meter. I also had the Snail Sanctum, which allows me to regenerate a quick shell, but that wasn't all too great. So what I was doing wrong for at least 30 minutes, well, I was using the hammer. Like all the other bosses where the hammer makes everything easier, as the ADHD-diagnosed Inkerton flies around the arena like he's permanently on crack, you really need to keep up with him. The hammer simply cannot attack in time, or block in time. So the fights took longer, but became far more manageable, significantly easier, allowing me to block and even dodge some of his nastiest attacks. So yeah, this all led to another crab's victory. Oh, and special credits to Chum too, for keeping his weak point gauge consistent.
Roland, you bastard. Seems I'm as worthless as you.
Yes, you bloody are! Eat a massive dick, you piece of shit. And a stainless relic, baby. Woo! All wounds have been patched up. We now walked over to this big spine, and the rest of the path led us very close to the perfect world. Kril wonders what is so special about it, and Conch tells us to just take a seat. This moon snail shell tells us we have made it to the Bleach City and are now in the Bleached Glades district. We are not going to continue the story, cause there are some things I want to do before we start struggling with the upcoming bosses. Because we have been playing with 3 hard kelp pots the entire time. Although apparently we can actually raise that to 10. Yes, 10. And I don't think I have to explain a lot that will just simply make everything easier, not only boss fights. I mean, so far I've been punching my desk so hard that one of my knuckles was genuinely bleeding. I got no anger issues, but I think completing this little crap adventure in less than 72 hours wasn't the smartest idea. Plus, if you look up how hot it is in the Netherlands, and I also record these videos on an attic. Yeah. So hunting down all these hard kelp sprouts is absolutely no biggie. But I also sold all my junk to buy a big batch of junk, aka purchasing every single shell available at the shell insurance store. Which includes the imposter from Among Us, which I know is pretty sussy. Having added all these shells to our collection, we are now sitting at 57 out of the 69. And if you're wondering why the hell there's a gun there, well, because that is the assist mode weapon. I haven't used it yet, but it will be necessary for a later achievement. Anyway, I was now off gathering the remaining 5 hard kelp sprouts, or well, not all 5 to be honest. Some required a huge adventure to reach and would have taken several minutes, so I ended up getting a total of 8 hard kelp pots at our disposal. Something that might just save our lives. Oh, and a little FYI, I also found one more Stainless Relic. So I went back to the blacksmith and upgraded our fork to level 4. And sadly enough, that was it. So quickly erasing our attack 2 more times with the spare microplastics, it was off to not the moon snail shell, but to Poda's garden instead. Because that domain can wait. As our old friend here can upgrade Tactical Tentacle to level 2, increasing its size and summon duration for just a measly 25 crystals. And for 50, I was able to increase its damage while also allowing the tentacle to heal Kril for a perfect percentage of damage dealt. Which could be one massive lifesaver. Also maxing out Royal Wave and making it cost 1 less umami charge, I saw that this man was also the main guy offering the boss rushes. And as we need to beat one for the DLC achievement, one specifically stood out as something I knew I could first try. So let's hope it goes as well as I anticipated. This got me the 7 Ocean Army achievement for beating 1 boss rush. Also rewarding us with retro Kril. Which is awesome because I love me some 1994 Craystation RPGs. Besides that, no other rewards. So it was back to the Bleach Glade inside the old ocean. Continuing following our given path, where I found a shortcut way too soon, but sure, any route cut short is no problem. A pill bottle shell is always welcome, and then we got Bitch here losing our Among Us shell, and equipping, or well sort of equipping, the new Thief shell. Which sucks because it is stuck on us, cannot be swapped and also cannot block. So we must get hit to get rid of it. Just great. Having gotten rid of it, quickly though by letting a crab attack me further up, we had to do some mildly difficult parkouring, trying to get onto this tree branch to snatch the toilet roll. The ultra soft toilet roll for our shell collection. And to take down some crabs, I tried to dodge as many as possible, which actually, once killed, pop out of their shell. So they basically have 2 lives. That's pretty cool. I also found 2 more additions to the collection, a cap and a scrub daddy. Yes, this place is filled with new shells. And with those 2 secured, we finally laid our eyes upon a brand new moonsnail shell. Quickly raising attack another time, I also got my Among Us shell back, and it appears we are about to enter a massive castle, where a new piece of crap was introduced, shooting poison bombs. Bombs that explode on impact and leave a poison cloud behind. This, well simply put, was pretty much impossible to deal with unless you were constantly moving. So fighting these crabs was a no-go. I grabbed the champagne glass shell after a bit, died immediately afterwards, but with that obtained, we started crossing the bridge like maniacs until we could jump down and break free from the gas bombers. Continuing right from down here, we found another Bloodstar limb, which is neat. But I doubt we can complete it before the final boss fight, as we are getting pretty close now. Having created a foam cloud with the foam can, we made our way to the upper side of the bridge. And with the shortcut unlocked, that section was now completed, allowing us to get behind the gas bomber and take all 4 down. Not with ease, but also not with much trouble either. During these 2 faucet handles, the main gate to the castle opened up. Our Among Us shell got backstabbed, and now we had to fight the first boss fight again. Except this time as a regular enemy. And as he almost got the better of me, it was no longer time to mess around. We did not let him win. From that point we entered Carcinia, the Bleach City. Being blessed with a moonsnail shell and getting my sussy imposter back, over here we are dealing with more trouble. But also a brand new seahorse, with more HP and more damage output, plus another shell for the collection. So when we reached the top, I had a quick look down and then turned this faucet knob, causing the entire building to move towards our next route. Cool little gimmick. Having somehow found yet another Bloodstar limb and experienced the crap popping straight out of the wall, up here we instantly go back down because I'm not dealing with the nonsense over here. Making our way toward the next section with this beautiful foam plateau, I continue to run, glide and do whatever else little Kril could do to avoid all these enemies. As I realized we most likely would not get any more moonsnail shells in this section, because the game already gave us one earlier, although a shortcut is pretty generous. Now we just kept moving, nothing all too crazy, just some very simple platforming. All up until we met with Kaiten. Kril's confused about how she made it down here, but she found it the same way Kril did. Kaiten assumes we also seek the whirl, the divine weapon of the old ocean forged by the ancient claws. Kril raises suspicion about how Kaiten knows so much. Kaiten kinda mocks us for being so far astray from our original goal, which was getting our shell back. If we do meet Kaiten at the whirl, she hopes we can align on its use and meet as friends. Kril's flattered to even be considered a friend by the one and only Kaiten, and well, is that a yes or a no? Kaiten tells us to follow the call. We must be dragged by the spiral deep inside, and Kril knows how. Kaiten continues looking for it while we do the same. And some luck really struck us, because further up here, while dodging all sorts of major dangers, we actually found it on the moonsnail shell. Really surprised to see that, so why not raise attack another time, eh? Now from that checkpoint I jumped back down to an arena we had seen before. Had to do a bit of exploring here, but at long last inside of a clam was another Stainless Relic. So with that being our 4th, we can upgrade our fork again. Although first, we found the snow globe shell. And from there I had to retrace my steps all the way back to the moonsnail shell to head on over to our favorite blacksmith. To upgrade our fork to level 5, baby. Sweet. But max level it ain't yet. And the next upgrade will cost us 5 Stainless Relics, so that will be one big grind for later. From the lookout tower we went on another trip, crossing the foam clouds over to the next faucet knob, which led to a shorter time attack than my dick length. Long story short, you ought to be real quick with this one. Jumping down here, the devil himself strikes at us, lowering our health super quickly. Still winning the battle, we did it all for a used bandage. Nasty. The next faucet we turned wasn't a time attack. It simply loaded some platforms for us to use once we made our way up. From there we could head down a semi-secret path, break this block, continue with another foam cloud and fight the toughest batch of enemies the game has introduced to us thus far. Getting me to my deathbed several times, however I made it to the next faucet challenge, which was about 20 times easier. Up here many crabs came by for a bite, and we had to complete a large time attack where I needed to interact with 2 knobs quickly. Then platform my way to the top of this building before the timer ran out. When done successfully, we would never have to do it again, because we got ourselves a shortcut. This is great, as we gotta head back down. Because, well, it is time to go for something many people will get the reference of. There is a tower over here in this building we can climb onto, and then we got a pretty large parkour section ahead of us. A lot of people found it difficult, but as I am very famously known for my heroic epicness after 100%ing Neon White, this, my friend, was child's play for me. So I didn't really first try it, sadly. But as I didn't completely die, I respawned at that section, and now knowing what I had to do, the bit I died was literally the final obstacle. And now, we have found the Knight's Helmet, aka a little Dark Souls reference. Also obtaining the Shells-like achievement. This is simply put the best shell in the game. We could now return completely worry-free with his foam clouds and quickly kill both of these Sonic the Snail Hawks. Making use of the hand-in-any shortcut to continue our journey toward the world, quickly dying for a second, we only had to start retraversing everything again from the last Moonsnail shell. Which was like an hour ago, so that was probably like the worst thing to ever happen in my life, besides maybe some of the boss fights. So instead of tearing down my entire setup, I first went back to town to sell my junk and put insurance on the Knight's Helmet. With the remaining 149,000 microplastics, I leveled up attack 5 more times. And now please keep in mind, at the part where I died, I was about 1 mile away from the next Moonsnail shell. So yes, having the urge to bomb a country felt pretty reasonable to me. However, at the longest of long last, we made it to the throne room. Conch isn't surprised he found it here. Stealing a roll from the sorceress just wasn't enough for the king. This is the place he locked it away. It was designed for hermits. So whether he could wield it is the biggest question. Ganj also tells us this place, this city, is no ancient relic. He spent his childhood here, a mere 30 years ago. Kril was just surprised about his age, as hermit crabs often live 30 to 50 years. So that is one old crab. His parents saved him by passing him off to a stranger during the founding of a new city where they could start over. The mistakes were repeated once again, like nothing ever happened. This is why Ganj spent his years researching, in hopes of maybe recovering the perfect world. And with it, save New Carcinia from the old city's fate. Now knowing it was possible, how could he not believe in destiny after that? Kril understands why Ganj was so desperate for us to come with him. But he's right. We made it this far, so why not just finish it? We grab what I'm feeling is going to be our final moonsnail shell, and enter it to claim our insured knight's helmet, cause we've got a war to finish. Before fighting him though, I upgraded our mantis sponge to the max, as it would be excellent for this boss fight. Plus, we went over to the moonsnail's domain to get the self-repair skill, the Kunsuki skill, the Reposit skill, umami training, and natural defense, which got me the path of the true crab achievement for completing the bottom right path. Then quickly nabbed another umami training, elusive prey, skedaddle, ebb and flow, and now with the most of the purple crystals spent. But it was time. 1,000 microplastics given upon us. And now, just one more thing left to do. We have made it to the bottom of the drain, and yes, I'm gonna brag a little bit, I indeed just first tried that two-faced boss. Continuing downwards, things started lighting up.
By God! This is it! This is it, Kril! They all told me it was just a legend! Those buffoons! The perfect whirl! Do you know what this means, child? The archaeological community will never be the same, I say! With the proper funding, perhaps we can begin to learn the secrets of the ancient hermits. And then it's only a matter of time before... Oh, God damn it!
Drivel. Titan! Oh my God! He's dead! You killed him!
Time, he says. The old idiot. Time is something we have none of. We're already much too late. Tides upon tides upon tides too late. This ocean was eaten up before I was even an egg.
What? Why did you do that? He didn't do anything wrong!
We are beyond saving. Soon we'll share the same fate as the old ocean. The world has only one use now. To punish this ugly world, to rip it asunder. You think you can wield it? In your complacent claws, it's no better than a rock. And you're no better than them. No better than the ones who ate this world up. To think, we really thought you could be our shell.
I could vomit.
You are not Titan.
How can you stand it? How can you sleep? How can you even breathe? You've seen how this ocean's been maimed. The agony it's in. The future that was stolen from us. You've seen everything we wanted you to see. So where's your anger? Where is your rage? Doesn't this pain boil you inside, little crab? Doesn't it just make you want to fucking scream?
Now in my defense, I was dragged into this without any hardkelp pots, so let's give that another go, shall we? This is Tedious Simulator 9000. She just drops in some crabs. She just fights some crabs. You gotta take them down while these big floaty orbs come in crashing, dealing more damage to both you and your shell whether you block it or not. So dodging is of the essence. Her basic attacks come in once all the crabs have been dealt with. Those also do crazy penetrating damage when blocked. With her also calling in beams throughout the second phase once she reaches half HP, it didn't take long until we beat her.
Die with the rest of this ocean! Scream for me! Fear!
yeah! I gotta redo the most sloggy, bare-bones, sleep-inducing boss fight all over again, because I was writing the script for the previous boss and got surprise attacked by 900 different things. This really ticked me off. Honestly, it is unexplainable. So on my second try, just getting me there took me about an extra 10 minutes thanks to the fight being so slow. I died again. Yes, I think that during that time I figured out you just gotta survive instead of attack. So there I was learning new things. Glad we could beat the boss in about 35 minutes. This big, red, bulky thing genuinely scared me for a second. However, it is a no for me because we still got some things left to do for 100%. So we head toward the Moon Snail's domain to learn the Circle of Life for the Path of the Hermit achievement. I cannot yet learn the rest of the skills, but don't fret, I will be able to sooner or later. For now, we go to the expired knoll in the sands between, do a bit of exploring, nothing all too crazy, for our next Stainless Relic. Shortly afterwards, I got another one, literally 5 minutes later. With that, I also went over to the opposite side from the expired knoll Moon Snail shell, the same area we came from last time, to over there find yet another Stainless Relic. I just quickly gotta find 2 more. Now I went back over to a bridge we loaded earlier for a previous relic, to figure out where to go next. Because we moved toward the old microplastics farm location, this is a place I already knew about. So this time, instead of farming microplastics, we went up the hill. We completely climbed the hill full of crabs and stupid worms to make it to the final adaptation, getting us the well-adapted achievement for finding all the adaptations. This is the Bobbit Trap, and honestly, don't care. We made our way to the Hermit's Plateau, because over here, going along a little secret path, there were some annoying goons. But also a little hermit crab we had to slaughter to grab the doll head shell from Toy Story. With that shell, we just needed 2 more, and with these 2 are pretty cool in my opinion. Cause we have this little, or well for now, large Matrushka doll. And those things always got smaller Matrushkas inside of them. Pretty neat little collectibles in the real world, but also in this game. Its special ability is to pop out one of them, and as we do that twice, first getting a medium one and then a small one, we obtain the Shell Seeker achievement for finding every single shell in the game. Man, ain't that awesome. How awesome it might be, as you can see, we had to go back to them electrical currents and reclimb a very large chunk of the area once again, to find something very neat, something very relic-y. It was another Stainless Relic. Ooh, I love these things. Back in the old ocean, more specifically the lookout tower, it was only a 30-second walk to grab this bad boy. With this final relic, we should now be able to get our fork to level 6, which turns it into the Golden Fork. Ladies and gents, this is the finale upgrade. Plus the Mega Chan achievement on top of it. It has become one beautiful trident as well. This fork has gone through quite the journey, so it deserves becoming something legendary. Now I sadly did not accumulate enough crystals to finish the entire skill tree, so I went back to Topata's garden to refund my adaptations levels with a shark egg, getting me 225 umami crystals. Okay, we still got one final boss battle to defeat, so I remaxed Tactical Tentacle as it is simply the GOAT, and just in case also maxed out Mantis Punch. To now, with the remaining 132 crystals, finish the last section of the skill tree, getting us the Path of the Predator achievement. With that, we have learned every single skill, and got one more thing left to do. Spent our final microplastics on 2 more attack upgrades to max it out, add 1 extra point to vitality, and now, for the point of no return.
Kaiten! Are you okay?
I killed him. The old man who never raised a claw against me. I was the strong, wielding death against the weak. There is no salvation for me now.
It wasn't you, Kaiten. It was whatever that thing was, making you evil.
A great confluence of damned souls. A grim slurry of umami. My body moved at its whim, true. But the anger was mine. The hate was mine. Without it, it could not have taken me as a shell.
Stop talking! You're going to be okay, alright?
Perform me a favor, vagabond. My anger was too much for me, but do not let it vanish. If you can, take my anger with you and wield it where it is needed to protect this world.
Stop it! Stop talking like you're going to die! I didn't even like you guys when I met you. But I don't want you to go. I don't want to be alone again.
The confluence was wrong. There's still time to save this ocean. I must believe this. Even if it is a lie, I will believe it. Until the day this all ends.
Wait! That old guy was saying that shell has a lot of magic in it, right? I'll just put it on. Maybe I can heal you.
Kril.
Just stay right there. I'll be right back.
Whoa! What happened? I put on this cool-looking shell, and for some reason I feel super great now. Like I could take on the whole ocean. Kind of like anything I want can become reality, you know? This is gonna change everything. I'm gonna be a hero.
Firth, I need that shell to save Chitin. Can I put it on for a second?
Chitin? Who's that? Whatever you need, it can wait, pal. I'm thinking big right now, and my big things are gonna save New Carcinia. Yeah, that's a great idea. Great thinking, me. Let's do it.
No. Just stay right there, Chitin. I'll be right back.
Hey there, pal. No hard feelings about our little disagreement earlier, right? My new powers are crazy. I just moved this whole island directly over New Carcinia. Looks like trash day came early. Pretty cool, right?
Firth, I really need that shell. Chitin's hurt bad.
I'll tell you who's hurt bad. The economy. That's who. With Roland gone and Scuttleport out of commission, our whole city's gonna completely collapse. And not only that, folks are starting to say the trash we've been using is physically harmful to us. Who would have thought? But it's all gonna be okay. Now that I'm the god of this ocean, I've got a super genius 3-step plan to save everyone. Step 1. Sink Trash Island onto New Carcinia, eliminating the whole concept of Trash Day. A permanent economic boom! What's better than that?
You're going to cover this city in trash? Can we just talk about this? I just need to borrow the world for a minute!
Step 2. Use that trash to usher New Carcinia into a second golden age. You'll see technology advance beyond your wildest dreams!
You're not listening to me!
And step 3. With all that new tech, we'll form a plan to make New Carcinia's economy more sustainable. We ought to be able to start using 20% less trash within the next 200 tides or so. You thought I forgot about that part, didn't you? But I'm a caring guy.
If you dump more trash on the reef, aren't they just gonna get gonked faster? And I still need to save Chitin! So give me that shell! I'm not going to let you do this!
That's the cool part about being a god. I don't need you to let me do anything. It's just gonna happen.
Well, I'll fight you for it!
Huh, that's a bummer. I thought you had a good head on your shoulders, pal. I was really starting to respect you. But here you are, resorting to physical violence to take down an honest business crab. No need to get angry, pal. You're only gonna get yourself hurt.
I'm not! I am getting angry, aren't I? I think maybe I've been angry the whole time. Ever since I left the tide pool. I never wanted to be. Everyone else seems angry all the time. I didn't want to be like that. But I can't help it. Not when people like you always get everything you want, and other people get hurt for it. It's not fair! And I'm really strong now. Strong enough to stop you from making things worse!
You really are quite white, you know? If you're gonna fight me, quit the sob story and just do it. I've got an empire to build here. Come on, do it! Hit me! Don't be a coward! No one likes a sore loser, buddy! What's the thing, pal? You're gonna regret standing in my way.
So once again it shows that the hammer is the worst goddamn thing mankind has ever made for a boss fight. Plus, I wasted another crab stowaway. Big time. But the second try, I felt that was my charm. Although he attacks quickly, he also deals decent damage. So I was sure we could take him down. Boom, gotcha again. It ain't gonna take ages. I got him on my second try. Utilizing the Mantis Punch the most to knock him out a couple of times. Easiest boss fight yet.
No one likes a sore loser, buddy! Would you just die already? Hands up! Ah! You ain't seen nothing yet, dude!
Oh yeah! I genuinely thought this was gonna be a one-face boss. Sadly enough, we also have to fight the first avatar right after. First the crab, who's fooled the world. You know what? I'm not even gonna do it. On my second try at the first avatar.
No, Kril, wait! Don't put that on!
I think I get what Chitin meant now.
Kril, hold on! Let's talk about this like adults!
If I'm gonna be angry, I might as well use it for something good. So that maybe, one day, other people won't have to fight like me. And what better way to start than to beat up a selfish, greedy, muscle shocker like... Yeah!
Wait! pal. No hard feelings, right?
What word comes to mind when you think of the Earth? This world is resilient, but not endlessly so. As this Earth spins ever faster towards its uncertain future, all will face that future in their own way. Some will fight for the world they dream of, blade in hand. Some will spend their whole lives saving others from falling through the cracks. And others still will never rest in one place for long. As this fragile world begins to fracture, no matter how large or small, the one thing no creature can afford is complacency. But though history talks of warriors and heroes, and great mighty crabs that shook the world, it is the thankless deeds that shall ever make that world worth fighting for.
That is all of another crab's treasure. At long last, we did get our shell back. Maybe not in the most civil way, but we sure as shooting got our shell back. This game was visually, atmospherically, and most importantly gameplay-wise phenomenal. Honestly, most issues I had with the game were personal skill issues. So really, there were no actual issues. It's an awesome game. You guys could recommend it to anybody who likes a good challenge. With the game beaten, we of course have not 100%ed it yet, as we still need a handful of achievements. By the end of the credits, yes! The so-called DLC. It was a free one called the Year of the Crab updates. This allows us to go into New Game Plus. And has a couple more achievements waiting for us. We started New Game Plus, which gave us the Prepare to Die achievement, and we are back at the very goddamn beginning, completely geared up though. Or well, kinda, because New Game Plus is more like New Game shit. Why the goddamn Jesus H. Christ do I gotta replay a good chunk of the game? New Game Plus makes the game, let's say without bitching, about 15 times harder. More enemies, more damage, more health. The first Root Snail, who was a little racist, we talked to him at the very beginning of the game, is now an actual boss fight. And not an easy one either. Took me 18 minutes alone to beat this little fella. That's about as long as it took me to beat Firth. Although it wasn't nearly as much trouble anymore when I figured out I could just equip my insured Knight's helmet. Still hard, but a major lifesaver. I really do not want to complain even more about the ridiculous difficulty spike. But the knights that were guarding areas near the end of the game were now casually roaming the sands between, like they were the smallest crabs in existence. And the standard fishies were so strong! I'm sorry, there's no way I cannot mention this. The extra bullshit New Game Plus throws at you is just completely unnecessary. Because I had to replay through the entirety of the game with this difficulty. Well, okay, that's not true, not the entirety of the game. All the way until we arrived at the Moon Snail's domain. Which only took about, like, less than an hour. So, no, it's not that bad. It only didn't take that long because I'm pretty experienced with the game now, so it went quicker than I expected. Plus, I don't have to write the video script this time, like where I went and all. I could actually play the game for a little bit. Over here we must craft a sigil for 100 crystals. Now I could refund some of our crystals, but we also need to make it back to town. So during that journey I'm sure I can get another 42 crystals. As I simply cannot pass up on my skills. Cause I need them for whatever other boss I might still have to fight before I can get all the achievements in New Game Plus. Cause I had to do the entire Fort Slacktide mumbo jumbo again. Yeah, really loving this replay stuff. Guess that's kind of the concept of New Game Plus. But the worst thing was that I had to do Magista the Tyrant of Slacktide again. Now harder, significantly harder. She even had a goon helping her out this time. And I bitch, and I keep complaining in my 100% videos. But we do not over-exaggerate. We never do that. I got her in about 8 minutes or something. The fight mostly sucks because she just does major damage to both you and your shell simultaneously, even if you perform a perfect block. So once again, not hard. Just more of a brain teaser. As you also couldn't get her to weaken because you do not unlock the Mantis adaptation right at the bat in New Game Plus for some reason. With her defeated though, we still had a lot, and I mean a good lot to travel through, to eventually reaching the big city. Guess over there I sold, god damn it, Prawn Nathan isn't here. Cause the thing is, we need to increase our stowaway capacity to the max for surpassing my limits achievement. And with 100,000 microplastics I was able to get it to 9. However, I needed level 10. So since I couldn't sell junk yet, I sold some crappy stowaways I wasn't using, and with those I managed to get enough microplastics to raise my capacity to level 10. Achieving the surpassing my limits achievement, which can only be obtained in the New Game Plus difficulty. FYI. Now I still didn't obtain enough crystals. I refunded the entire skill tree for 655 umami crystals to craft a sigil for the I'm moving different achievement. With that one done, I was only 3 pretty common achievements short. So let's knock those out real quick, eh? So first up is I'm Speed. This is significantly easier and more efficient on our original save file. Going to the grove entrance of the expired grove, we traveled a little to the left, nothing thrilling, to find Spicy the Snail, giving us the I Am Speed achievement. Now we went back to the New Carcinia, aka the big city, to head straight up and enter the museum for the Look at This Stuff achievement, where we see the legend Conch, who did not deserve to die. Rest in peace, you legend. This was Sir Conch VI, the beloved founder who died doing what he loved, uncovering ruins that should never have been touched by crab kind. With that, we all had the time to learn more about him before his passing. Did you know he'd been knighted? I certainly didn't. Apparently that's a thing you can just apply for through the mail. This statue was created by Scuttlesworth, the sculptor, in anticipation of conscious passing. Let's be honest, he was gonna kick the bucket one of these days. Godspeed, you brave, beautiful bastard. That was beautiful indeed. Now, to truly 100% all of another crab's treasure, we must turn on baby mode, go Peggy 18, and shoot a crab to obtain our final achievement. This kills the crab. With that, we have used the gun and have officially achieved 100% in another crab's treasure, and found another hard kelp sprout by complete accident. Awesome. But they're unnecessary for 100% though, as when I had all tapped, I saw the beautiful badge. And that's what we're here for. Honestly, in 36 hours, this game wasn't too shabby to complete. Another Crab's Treasure was an absolutely phenomenal game to play through, and man oh man, not easy, but extremely fun. You gotta give this game some credit for its music, atmosphere, and above all, gameplay. This was a treat, and low-key makes me want to play Dark Souls series, and maybe even Elden Ring. But that will be a journey for another time. For now, thank you for stopping by, and enjoy the rest of your day. Or sleep well.